Tonight, it's the official On Location set.
Hey.
I'm Chris Mowry. That's Brandon Wells. We got a really cool program for you tonight. We've got the Aero Boys preview and the Aero Girls preview. Brandon, no editing for you, my friend. How about that?
No editing. There's no room for error.
Yeah,
so
well,
don't say anything inappropriate, Chris.
That's Brandon Gunder.
Yes, Brandon Gunder's over there. Look, it's basketball season.
Yeah.
We had a heck of a football season. We'll talk about that a little later. But basketball's my favorite sport, really, to be honest. And so whether it's the boys or the girls, I can't wait for us to be, at Aero Arena a couple times a week this year.
You know what my favorite sport is?
Whatever's in season.
Whatever's in season is the absolute correct answer.
Yep.
But my favorite season is whenever the Arrows hang a W in the left column. And
Yeah.
Coming off a football season, you mentioned we had a lot of them. We're expecting a lot of the same here from the ladies and the guys here in the winter.
Yeah, we've had some success this fall in multiple sports, and that does tend to carry over, right? And you have an opportunity, especially on the boys' side, to go from a really successful football season into basketball, and that carries over. And, same thing on the girls' side as well with volleyball and soccer. And, you want to make sure that obviously that momentum carries you over for those 2-sport, 3-sport athletes, multi-sport athletes coming into the winter season. But there is some challenges there too, right? I mean, you've got guys and girls that were playing sports a long time, and so both coaches had a bit of a shortened preseason,
Yeah.
right? And so we'll talk with Coach Hess, Coach Holt about that as well. But really, it's basketball time, and I can't be more excited.
Well, you're joining us on the Simonson Preview Show for the boys and the girls here on the Ashland Arrows Broadcasting Network. I want to give a quick hat tip to Simonson, to South Street Grill for having us, to ACS, Garth, and whatnot, Steve Paramore, for really aligning with the vision that we had, right, to bring these broadcasts forward, whether it's this kind of environment or whether it's an activity, athletic activity. It's really awesome, and those guys, without them, we couldn't do it.
Yeah, you're right, and really, it's an opportunity to showcase what our community is all about, but also to really showcase what our student athletes are able to do, to put them on video for themselves, for the rest of their lives to have, but also for colleges that are recruiting some of our players and those kinds of things. It really is exciting. It's an opportunity for them to shine and really put their names and their performance out all season long.
Well, if you joined us last Tuesday, we start every broadcast the same way, and we give thanks to all of our sponsors. They make it all possible. Obviously, we mentioned Simonson and South Street Grill, Sarver Paving, Hedstrom, Ashland Eye Care, Whitaker Myers, Priest Dental, Wickham and Hess, Goldberry Roasting, Ashland Eye Care, Andrew Bush Law Office, Chandler Systems, Inc., Truly Inspired Paper Company, Valley Transportation, Linway Restaurant,
Simonson Construction, Comfort Control, Bill Harris Dealership, Spring Smith, Connery Manufacturing, BB&C Car Care, Sid Suds, Coldwell Banker Ward Real Estate, the Janney folks and the Story family,
right there.
Truax Printing, and Bo Lacey Construction.
Right there.
We've got a lot of folks that have really pitched in this year, and our advertisers and our folks have been just super generous in order to get these games and this preview show on the air.
And people ask me, and they ask you all the time, hey, how can we give back? Well, you can give back by using these people's services. You can give back by using their products. You see them at Walmart. You see them somewhere out in the community. Tell them thanks. It's really quite simple. We say it all the time, and I'll say it again. I know it's repetition. It's about 8 sentences ago I said it, but this doesn't happen without these people.
Well, Chris, as an example, Comfort Control was at my house yesterday fixing my boiler. So, it's just what we do, right? And
it's that time of year.
We want to make sure we use all these folks that are sponsoring our broadcasts.
All right, let's look real quick at the boys' season. Coming off a 10-13 season, they were 7-7 in the OCC, finished 5th. Listen, we're going to talk about this in a minute, but they bring everybody back essentially, right? A couple players lost to graduation, but basically, the kids are growing up. They're now upperclassmen. A lot of that class is starters or juniors now, and Coach Hess is looking for some big things out of this group.
Yeah, well, of course, right? You lose some guys for sure every year, and every year the chemistry is a little bit different on a team because of the leadership changes and the talent that kind of that comes in and comes out, and it's just a different group every year. I can't wait to see how this year's group comes together. You've got talent, inside. You've got talent outside. Yep. Coach Hess has a great staff and a great squad out there that, everybody's looking for big things this year. The OCC is always good, right? Lex is always good. I know you don't like to admit it. Senior always seems to bring some guys in every year that are really good. West Holmes is going to be gritty and tough. And then Worcester, of course, you're never quite sure. But look, it's and Madison, of course. I don't want to.
New Philly.
New Philly, and then Dover coming in next year. So the OCC is tough. So you can be a good team and still finish 7-7 in the OCC like we did last year.
I always feel like the OCC feels like the Big Ten. Right? You show up and it's kind of backyard brawl, and, you think sitting in the stands like, that's a foul, and they're not called or whatever. But, hey, that's just kind of the way it is. The one thing that gives me hope for Coach Hess's team is this group started slow last year. and then they kind of started playing better. They found their rhythm, and they got better, and they closed out the season kind of with some momentum, and they get to carry that into this season. So we'll see if that translates here and how quickly that does. I'm looking forward to the emergence of Paxton Edgar.
Yep.
You know, he started, kind of slow last year, but then he really found his way, right? And I think Jason Goings had to replace some nets. He was making so many shots from downtown. It wasn't hitting the rim. It was just going right through the goal. So I'm looking forward to seeing him play too.
Well, I mean, as a guy who played guard and coached basketball for a long time, I think everything kind of goes around your guard play, whether that's the girls or the guys' side. So, and in today's game, you have to have multiple guys and girls who can shoot the basketball as well as handle it. There's no such thing as, those old positions we used to think about, like a dedicated 1 and a 2 and a 3. Like, they're kind of all basketball players at this point. And yeah, Pax made a big leap last year, and I'm sure he'll make a good leap this year, and he's got a great squad. I mean, it's all of them, and it's going to take a team effort for them to win the OCC and make a run in the tournament.
Boys open their season at Norwalk on Friday, and then the home opener is this Saturday against Clyde at Arrow Arena. So come on out, check this group out. Let's look over at the girls real quick.
Sure.
Last year, 9-14, 8-6, finished 4th in the OCC. They've had 3 games already, looking for their first win. They are back in action this Saturday. Split twin bill for you and me. Ernie Bink says, let's play 2. We're going to do that on Saturday. Brandon and I bring you both of those games, but they welcome in senior high school open OCC play on Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, and Coach Holt has her hands full because they scheduled a really tough non-conference schedule to start this season, right? And that's a good thing. So, I was talking with Mr. Goings about that earlier, and look, when you schedule tough non-conference opponents at the start of your season, whether that's football, basketball, whatever the sport is, baseball, same thing, it's going to get you ready for the tough, grueling conference schedule that lies ahead. So whether you go 0-3 or 3-0 in those first few games, it's about figuring out what you have, and then as you get into the conference, then you have a better idea what's going on. So, right now, it's just one of those things that, you hopefully that, we're hoping that both teams kind of get things rolling.
The Blonde Mamba's resurgence there.
Yeah, Kennedy Lacey obviously last year had a big year. I think, coming up as a freshman, it takes some time to figure out, like, okay, how do I fit in with this group, and what kind of leadership can I provide as a freshman out on the court, and then you start to do it on and off the court, and it is a challenge, right? I think, when you look at the girls' squad, they've got some talent, they've got some post players, they've dealt with a few injuries early on here in the season, but I think anytime you start a little bit slow when it comes to the win-loss record, it's a matter of keeping everybody together on the same page and saying, hey, it's okay. Like, it's not the end of the world that we've lost the first couple of games, right? I mean, are we getting better each week, each game? Yeah, absolutely. And that's the key to keeping everybody together, pulling the rope in the same direction.
Yeah, that's my patented statement, man. You got to keep doing that no matter whether it's going well or it's going poorly. A couple new broadcast features. I know you're really excited about the Sarver Paving replay.
Always. I mean, we introduced it for football, right? And it's look, to be able to go to replay, it's a little harder during basketball, right?
Yeah, quick.
Yeah, you got to be quick, and you got to time those things up. But thanks to Sarver Paving for their sponsorship as well. And yeah, to be able to show replays on big plays and key plays that are happening on a foul,
hopefully some charges.
Well, hopefully.
We'll take them.
We love the block charge.
I think Coach
argument.
Hess gives out donuts or something for charges,
donuts
right?
Donuts for charges?
What is it? He'll take care of it. They're good.
Well, we used to give out socks. That was the thing back in the day. Was like a cool pair of socks on charges.
Cool. That's neat. And then thanks again to all of our advertisers. South Street Grill here, the official watch location. You can check out Arrow Hoops here as well. The Wickham and Hess pregame guest is now going to be known for basketball as the pregame guest. No more halftime. We're going to shift that to the pregame. So we're going to show the jazz band when they're in action here at Inside Arrow Arena as well. Brought to us by Bill Harris. Why wouldn't we?
Well, of course. And now it's no longer Neil Ebert's jazz band, right? The retired, the big man has retired, but Mr. Alaman will be bringing the noise at the half, and everybody loves that. And it's also much easier to hear, them at halftime, although we'll have to kind of go over that with the pregame guest as well.
You've heard me say it a ton of times, man. The jazz band is absolutely awesome inside Arrow Arena, and Camden still talks about this day running out of that tunnel, and they start hearing the fight song, and they're excited.
That's one of those things that as a high school student athlete, like, you never forget. And for me, as a guy who played basketball as well, like, you'll never forget coming out of the locker room to the band playing.
Yeah.
It's the first segment, and I have to mention the academy. So, when you would come
Some
out.
things they're undefeated.
When you come out and that band is rocking and rolling, it does get you pumped up.
Come on back and watch here with our first guest. The littlest, biggest fan, the Arrows fan in all of Ashland, Ohio, is going to join us next year on the Ashland Arrows Broadcasting Network.
Simonson Construction is proud to sponsor Arrows Athletics, the most trusted and efficient construction company in the region. With a long history of doing things the right way from concept to completion, Simonson Construction solves all your construction needs for commercial and public projects. A truly local company providing award-winning comprehensive design-build services since 1974. For more information, scan the QR code or go to simonsonconstruction.com. Come visit the South Street Grill in downtown Ashland, the official watch location every Friday night during the Arrows football season. You can catch all the action in the bar area on the big screens. Elevated casual dining in downtown Ashland, steaks, seafood, hand-patted burgers, vegetarian options, salads, and a huge kids menu. Something for everyone in a completely renovated, historic building. South Street Grill, your home for Arrows football.
Welcome back to the Simonson Preview Show here at the South Street Grill. We're joined by the Ashland Arrows' biggest, littlest fan in all of Ashland, Ohio. That's Hudson Farver. How you doing, buddy?
Nothing.
Nothing? What do you mean nothing?
You excited to be here, buddy?
What are you doing? Look right there at that camera.
Yeah.
Say hi.
Do you like basketball or football better, buddy? You got to say basketball, right?
Now, you're already a mess. All right, we're good. All right.
This is gold.
Are you missing Arrow football like I am already? That's not an answer.
No.
I know.
No.
I am too. I'm ready for some Arrow football already, and it only ended just about 3 weeks ago. You too? You excited for Arrow basketball? I promise, this normally doesn't happen, man.
That's
Usually
okay.
he's all ready to go, and he's ready to...
Hudson, you're doing a great job, buddy. You look great on camera. That's all that matters, right?
Are you going to talk or just make faces?
Nah.
Okay, there we go. All right.
All right.
All right, here's one that you tell me all the time. Who's your favorite Arrow basketball players?
Gabe.
Gabe Bay,
Yeah,
shout out. Anybody
all right.
else?
Can you say?
Who else?
That's Gabe.
Who else?
Kennedy? Say Kennedy.
Are you nervous? You never get nervous. You carried the whole post-game show at an Arrow football game one time.
That's true.
All right. Are you playing basketball this year?
Yeah.
Who are you playing for?
Cav.
The Cavs?
Wow.
Cleveland Cavaliers or the Ashland Cavs?
Cav.
Okay, just the Cavs, Brandon. It's just the Cavs.
All right.
All right, here's one. This one, I don't know. We'll see if we get this right. Who's the yucky team that the Arrows play?
Greeters.
The Steelers?
Well, that's the Browns. How about
That's
the
not bad.
yucky team that the Arrows play?
They're purple.
Football.
Lexington.
Lexington.
There it is.
Lexington,
There
he
it
got
is.
it.
Good job, buddy.
Absolutely, good
Good job.
All right, let's go off the right way. Can you sing for all these fine people the Arrows fight song?
What?
The Arrows fight song. Let's hear you sing it.
I gotta put it up.
Here,
There you go. You got it,
let's
buddy.
hear it. The Arrows fight song.
Where's
There we go.
Africa?
Yep.
You got
I
it.
can't put it on my ear.
Okay. He almost got it. He
No,
knows
here,
it.
let's
he knows
give one
it
more
really
shot.
well.
I think it was just the headset.
Oh,
All right,
there
here
it
we go.
is.
Let's get out to it. Oh my God.
I tell you the truth. The little dude rehearsed this
Hey,
for.
that's okay.
I mean, Aunt Tara has taught him this, and he's just knocked it out of the park.
Listen.
Today, he might have got a little stage fright.
That's
BW.
okay. He looks good. And
We'll be right back on the Ashland Arrow Broadcasting Network right after this.
Construction is proud to sponsor Arrows Athletics, the most trusted and efficient construction company in the region. With a long history of doing things the right way from concept to completion, Simonson Construction solves all your construction needs for commercial and public projects. A truly local company providing award-winning comprehensive design-build services since 1974. For more information, scan the QR code or go to simonsonconstruction.com. Come visit the South Street Grill in downtown Ashland, the official watch location every Friday night during the Arrows football season. You can catch all the action in the bar area on the big screens. Elevated casual dining in downtown Ashland, steaks, seafood, hand-patted burgers, vegetarian options, salads, and a huge kids menu. Something for everyone in a completely renovated, historic building. South Street Grill, your home for Arrows football. Simonson Construction is proud to sponsor Arrows.
Welcome back to South Street Grill on the Simonson Construction Ashland Arrows basketball preview show. We're joined by our guest, Chad Emmons of Simonson Construction Services. Thanks for coming on, Chad.
Good to be here.
Chad's a 1998 graduate of Ashland High School, and 99. What did I say?
98.
Clarification.
Did I say 97?
You said 98.
98. That was the superintendent. He caught me real quick. Good job there, Stevie boy. What sports did you play here during your time as an Arrow athlete?
So I was baseball through my sophomore year. Decided that I would focus on basketball. Not sure that I did. But I did finish my basketball career with the Arrows. So.
All right. Well, that's not bad. What how many Emmonses live in town? That's what I want to know, because it seems like everywhere I go, there's like Emmonses everywhere, right?
We had our my younger brother Greg hosted Thanksgiving this year, and we're not all Emmonses, but there was, I think, 42 total.
Did you get the photo?
We did get a good photo. Yes, we did get a good photo.
What's one of your favorite memories of playing ball at Ashland? Could be basketball or baseball.
I thought about this a little bit. Basketball, not a great memory, but I cannot get it out of my head that we never beat senior. My senior year, we over there had probably one of the best first halves that we've had, and we went into the locker room, I think, up 4, feeling really good, like we had them.
Okay.
And we just didn't finish the deal. That was a bittersweet memory. I had a really good first half. I played really well.
Did you throw any down?
I did not. No, never did.
When's the last time you threw one down?
Yesterday, of course.
It was down at the little gym in Dromesville. He jumped off the wall and smashed it.
Yeah, we got a little 7-footer in the house. I throw down on that a lot.
Yeah. What about college? You go to college?
I did. I traveled around. I started my freshman year. I was at Ball State. They had an entrepreneurial program that I thought I was interested in. And at that time, not to get too far off the rails here, but I wasn't sure exactly what I wanted to do. Was in construction then, kind of liked it, but wasn't sure I really needed the degree, so I was going to go to Ball State. Ended up at Ohio University for a year and a quarter, took some time off, worked, and then ended up getting my degree at Ohio State.
Nice.
In construction management. So, yeah, I traveled around.
And then to Simonson right after that?
Simonson right after that. I graduated in winter of 04, started full-time in January of 05, and I had worked part-time right out of high school. I was working in my summers and breaks, and so then in 05 I started. We were at the College of Education there at Ashland University. Was an assistant superintendent under Craig Ritchie. A year later, they promoted me to superintendent. Not quite ready. First project, fun fact, was the Ashland City Schools weight room project as part of the Boosters Club. That was my first, cut my teeth on my own project, so that was good.
So what roles, I'm sorry, Brandon, what roles, superintendent, then what's the progression been for you?
So I started at the very, very bottom.
With a shovel?
Just like Drake.
Actually, not a shovel, a broom. You couldn't go lower than the broom. I spent a lot of time, going around the sites cleaning up when I was doing working breaks. Eventually became part of the labor force and what I would say a general laborer and carpenter, and then assistant superintendent for about 12 years in the field. Moved into the office in 2017, and so been there ever since as a project manager.
Well, we've had the pleasure of working together on a few projects, and it's been fantastic. But, as far as your relationship with the city schools and Simonson, talk a little bit about what that's been like. I mean, you guys have been involved in some projects and just the kind of core values that are very similar.
Yeah, no, we love this community. We love the Ashland City Schools. And it's been a great relationship over the years. I mentioned that weight room project. That was back in 2006. And when we've continued to have projects throughout there, we love to support this district. I think more so with athletics is typically what we've done historically and the way that's worked. But we're proud to be part of this community, proud to be a partner in the district with the city schools. And, from the weight room to I can go around and I'll probably forget some.
That's
But
all right.
you know, the field house,
Yeah.
the entry to the stadium, the administrative offices, the bus garage. That was when we converted King Lanes into the bus garage and the administrative offices.
Yeah, that one is just amazing for folks that, especially for somebody that didn't grow up here, and I only set foot in that building once before, right?
Yeah.
And so then to come back and realize like that was a bowling alley.
Yeah,
you guys.
it's cool.
Yeah.
I was actually in there the other day, and I hadn't been in there in a while. But they did a great job too of kind of preserving some of that original piece, and they've got the cafe in there with the bar stools, and it kind of brings that feel from what it was when it was King Lanes.
So you guys have been tremendous supporters of our broadcast. Obviously, it's the Simonson Construction preview show, and from Brandon and I and everybody else that's involved with this, thank you very much. We really appreciate it. Couldn't do it without you guys and many of the other sponsors. Is that kind of a core value and principle, at Simonson about giving back? It's not just Ashland, but it's Hillsdale and Mapleton and Loudonville and several of the surrounding districts.
Yeah, no doubt. We have, more than 75% of our employees are from this community, this county, and all of us in some way or at some point in time have had kids involved in athletics, things like that. And I think Simonson has always done a great job of supporting the things that their employees and their families and kids are involved in. And it's not just the district, right? But it does go beyond that. But yeah, a small community, small town. It's great to be a part of this. We look forward to being able to help in any way we can, and that's what makes a community like this grow and be sustainable. So,
well, we only have one more question for you.
Let's do it.
It's-
I might throw a wrench in this.
Please,
We'll be right back here.
Please do. Biggest rivalry for you.
Where's the dump button?
Biggest rivalry for you
okay.
when you were a
Well,
student
I'll
athlete,
give you
and then
the
biggest
answer.
rivalry that Chris thinks it is at all times.
So we know it's Lexington.
Yes, undefeated.
But for us, and I don't know that it's legitimately a rival when you never win, but Mansfield Senior for me was the one that we wanted to get, and we just never did, unfortunately.
We felt that way about Walsh Jesuit at the academy. We could never beat them.
Yeah.
In anything back in the day.
Wells, no one around here.
I just like to fire up Chris by
there's
talking
no
about
private schools going on in
Sorry.
Ashland
I
County,
know.
man. We're all a bunch of public kids, cool school kids. Thanks, man. Really appreciate you
Yep.
coming on and
Thanks
joining
for
us.
having us.
Yeah, we'll be right back with our next guest, AD Jason Goings, right after this.
The most trusted and efficient construction company in the region. With a long history of doing things the right way from concept to completion, Simonson Construction solves all your construction needs for commercial and public projects. A truly local company providing award-winning comprehensive design-build services since 1974. For more information, scan the QR code or go to simonsonconstruction.com. Come visit the South Street Grill in downtown Ashland, the official watch location every Friday night during the Arrows football season. You can catch all the action in the bar area on the big screens. Elevated casual dining in downtown Ashland, steaks, seafood, hand-patted burgers, vegetarian options, salads, and a huge kids menu. Something for everyone in a completely renovated, historic building. South Street Grill, your home for Arrows football. Simonson Construction.
Welcome back to the South Street Grill for the Simonson Construction Ashland Arrows preview show, joined by AHS Athletic Director Jason Goings. Thanks for taking the time, buddy, and coming on out.
Oh, absolutely. It's always a pleasure talking with you guys.
Look, it's been already a pretty amazing fall for Arrows athletics. Talk to us, especially, as a dad, not just as an athletic director, but talk to us about what this fall's been like, particularly with football for you.
Yeah, this fall was amazing. Being a dad, like you said, my son being a senior, I've seen this senior class play together. I've been here 10 years, so, to watch that group go through, all the youth leagues and then middle school and then high school and all play together. So it was a pretty special senior year, especially in football. But we had a great fall. Girls golf, won at OCC. Our football team won the OCC. We were competitive in every sport. So we're pretty balanced in the fall, but definitely the football season was pretty special.
We got to be pretty high up in the OCC race overall, I would think, after the fall season.
Yeah, the all sports numbers came out, and right now, after the fall, we are 2.5 points behind that team over there.
Did you hear that, boys?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
girls. Yeah,
And girls?
Yeah, right.
So we'll have to get that fixed.
2.5
won't we?
points.
Yeah, all right,
So-
we'll get that fixed by the time we head
we
into
always
the
make
spring.
up ground in the winter, though. We always make
Well,
up ground in the
wrestling
winter,
is
so.
looking pretty solid. Boys bowling and girls bowling and the basketball squads look pretty solid. So is this, you've been around football basically your entire life. You played in college and high school, obviously. Was this the best football season you've been a part of, whether you played or coached or were involved from an AD perspective or a dad perspective?
Wow, that's a great question. I can't say that I've personally been involved in a better season than what we just had here at the Arrows. I do remember my freshman year at AU. We went on like we won like our first 7 games. Didn't play a whole lot. I'm a redshirt freshman. But we went, game 3, we went over to Arlen Field and played Cal, PA. And I got to travel and actually played in that game. And I was like, that was pretty exciting.
It's
to
a
be a
homecoming
college
for you.
player, to go back to Mansfield and play in my old high school field. So that was pretty cool experience. But as far as a season, nah, this tops it. This is the best football season I've ever been a part of.
What are you, what's maybe your biggest memory this season for football that you'll kind of take with you going forward? I know it's a big question.
That
you
is a
know,
loaded
but
one, isn't it?
I'm just curious, right? As a dad who watched my daughter go through, 4 years of golf, like it's a hard thing to even go through, but, you have to have a couple that stick out.
Man, I probably would say watching that team come together, knowing that new Philadelphia game was a big game to decide the OCC.
Yeah.
So watching the team really grit and bear down and do what they needed to do, especially in that second half in the fourth quarter, the defense making stop after stop after stop. I'm looking at Gunner right here in front of me. He's a key piece to that. I told him I was going to give him a shout-out. I got it in. Just a big piece of those defensive stops and constantly making New Philadelphia punt and not allowing them to score. That really set, I feel, the wheels in motion that the team knew they could win the OCC, and that was the kickstart to do that.
Let's swap gears and go over and talk about the winter athletics at Ashland High School. What's new, if there is anything new here at the high school for the winter seasons?
Really, the newest thing that's going on is we have 6 girl wrestlers now.
Wow.
Fastest growing sport in the country.
Absolutely. So when I interviewed our coach, Tommy Bauer, that's one of the things that I put on the table was that I wanted to start girls wrestling.
Sure.
And he was with it, right away. He was all in. He said, yeah, whatever we can do, let's get it started. And he's got those wheels going. So now we have 6 girl wrestlers. So that's a cool thing going on this winter. We're also, speaking of wrestling, we're going to have a assembly duel on December 19th. 1 o'clock.
Oh, will the kids get out of school?
Middle of the school
that's
day.
awesome.
That's cool.
The
That's cool.
entire student population coming down to the gym to watch a duel. We got Midview coming in for an assembly duel, and our girls are actually going to wrestle in that duel as well because Midview has some girls too.
Nice.
So that's pretty cool. That's an exciting thing coming up this winter.
Sounds pretty awesome. Now, do we have the ability in Arrow Arena yet to like drop the lights and put a spotlight down?
We are working on that right
Yeah,
now.
buddy, that sounds awesome.
Chad Emmons is right over
Yeah,
there somewhere.
I kind of caught Garth Boyd working on that. I kind of messed up his flow because I had something else going on in the gym that he wasn't aware of. So he got mad at me because he couldn't finish. But yeah, he's working on that right
Awesome.
now.
How many athletes do you think we have going in the winter right now, like total?
I can tell you exactly. We have 151 winter athletes.
Wow. How many students in the high school?
In our building, about 840.
So, I mean,
but
you-
we have another 100 at the Career Center.
Like
so.
I didn't teach math. I taught English, so I'm not. But I do know that's a pretty high percentage.
Yeah, for the winter sports, I mean, we really only have 6 programs going in the wintertime, so the numbers really aren't as relatively high as we do have in the fall and in the spring. But we have solid numbers in all of our programs. Wrestling is obviously one that's leading. They have 37 athletes. Boys and girls swimming have 37 combined, so I think there's 20 girls, 17 boys. Boys basketball with 28. Girls basketball with 17. We have 12 cheerleaders on competition cheer and basketball cheer intermittently. Some of them switch. We have 9 boys bowlers, 6 girls bowlers. So you do the math on all that.
That's a lot.
That's 151.
It's a $151.
We got one more question. And Jason, I want to know, like, if you're talking to student athletes at the high school as a coach, as a dad, as an athletic director, what is your message to the guys and girls in here that are basketball players, and just in general, what would you tell them if you had one piece of advice to kind of give them here going into the season?
Stay involved. Absolutely stay involved in as many things as you can, because if you have that connection to the school, something that makes you connected to the school, you're just going to achieve more. When we have new enrollees that come into our district, whether they be freshmen or transfers coming from other schools, I immediately try to plug them into something. You have to get connected to the school. Because if you have a connection to the school, then you have a buy-in. Once you have a buy-in, then you really care about what's going on. So stay active, stay connected into your school. It goes quick, and you're going to miss it when it's gone.
That's right.
Appreciate the time, buddy. Thanks for
Jason.
joining us today.
Absolutely. Thank
We'll be
you.
right back. The stars of the show are coming, Brandon, next. The players, we get to get into it with them. Gabe Baith will join us right after this.
Proud to sponsor Arrows Athletics, the most trusted and efficient construction company in the region. With a long history of doing things the right way from concept to completion, Simonson Construction solves all your construction needs for commercial and public projects. A truly local company providing award-winning comprehensive design-build services since 1974. For more information, scan the QR code or go to simonsonconstruction.com. Come visit the South Street Grill in downtown Ashland, the official watch location every Friday night during the Arrows football season. You can catch all the action in the bar area on the big screens. Elevated casual dining in downtown Ashland, steaks, seafood, hand-patted burgers, vegetarian options, salads, and a huge kids menu. Something for everyone in a completely renovated, historic building. South Street Grill, your home for Arrows football. Simonson Construction.
Back inside the South Street Grill with Gabe Baith, the junior point guard for the Arrows, second team OCC member, second team All-District, averaged almost 11 points a game last season, and you're kind of the veteran of the squad, man. This is your third year starting.
Yep.
Does it feel strange to call yourself a veteran?
Yeah, it does. It goes by fast.
Sure does.
What advice do you have for some of those first-year players, maybe?
Take it all in. Take it all in.
Yeah, that's kind of what Jason Going said, too, right?
Yeah.
Like, just absorb it.
Yep.
Yeah, I think
So
that's fair.
The point guard of any basketball team is the leadership position, whether you're the president of a company or a point guard of the basketball team. How do you show your leadership to your teammates, the underclassmen, and try to rally the troops, if you will?
Just encouraging people, and I don't know.
Yeah, how do you go about encouraging guys? Like, what does that look like on the floor?
Telling them to keep shooting the ball even though they're missing it, or like telling them where to be, or like if they're don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
Because, Gabe, shooters do what?
Shoot the ball.
Shoot or shoot.
Yep.
Shoot or shoot.
Look, as a point guard, and a guard, like that was kind of the position that I always liked to play. I think guard play is critical. How have the guards looked so far? How have you guys looked so far in practice and in the scrimmages?
Chemistry's been really well. So me, Pax, Reed, we all get along, so it's easy to know where each other's growing, and yeah.
Yeah, that chemistry off the court always seems to translate
Yeah.
better onto the court, right?
Yeah.
That's where I think is it's hard for coaches to figure out like how to get
Which
young-
pieces?
Yeah, and for guys and girls both, like to kind of put our egos aside and say I got to do what's best for the team.
Yeah.
But that is a challenge. What do you think is going to be one of the keys to making the Arrows successful this year?
Unselfish and moving the ball around, and yeah.
What's Coach Hess say about that? Like when you guys are working the ball, what's the counsel to you guys? Is there a bad shot? Is there a
No,
good shot? Like
no.
that's what I'm getting at, right?
In and out threes. In and out threes is a really good shot for us.
Okay.
We have high percentages on those.
Explain that to folks that might not know what that means.
Driving it and kicking it out, getting a paint touch, and once they collapse, kick it out.
So we played it up-tempo pace around here. It seems like that's all basketball is anymore. If you walk the ball up the floor, you're getting screamed at by the bench, right? They just want to run and gun. I assume we're probably going to play that same high-tempo pace this year.
Oh yeah, we're looking to push even more than we did the last 2 years.
Well, I don't know if I've got enough lozenges, Brandon, to call those as we just track meet secretariat style back and forth.
What OCC? What's it look like this year? How do you feel that that's going to shake out?
Lex and Mansfield look pretty tough this year. Right now, Vogel's out. He has a broken wrist, and he doesn't know
That's
when
going around, I hear.
Yeah, he doesn't know when he's going to be back. So that'll help us out a little bit. But they're still going to be really good. They have a lot of other role players and stuff that are really good. So
Team and individual goals for yourself in the Arrows in 24-25.
for myself, field goal percentage more consistent, and trying to limit turnovers and control like the pace of the game.
What's the key to that field goal percentage going up, you think? That's the coach. This is the coach in me asking you because I'm curious what you think.
Better looks, not forcing anything.
Yeah.
And team goals, make a run in the playoffs, our tournament, I guess.
Yeah.
Tournament.
I think that the first one you talked about is a challenge, right? Like, and you've played so much as a freshman and a sophomore trying to figure out, what is a good shot. I think you have gotten so much better from your first game out until the end of last year, and that's just a process, right? Like, it's always going to be a process to figure out what is a good shot, but I think you're right on there.
Yeah. And win OCC, of course.
Yeah, I like that one too. All right, final question for you. What's your favorite place to play outside of Arrow Arena?
Ooh, this is a tough one.
It could be at the park too, man. I mean,
Guys still play at the park?
yeah, they better.
Probably Lex, to be honest.
Yeah?
Lex or Shelby, because my freshman year I had a really good game against Shelby.
Well, you get to do it again your junior year. We go back
Yeah.
there this year.
You know what I think is a fun place to play? You guys will be at Clear Fork this year, right? Because it's kind of like, right, we're at Clear Fork. It's down in there. It's kind of tight. It's packed. They always bring a lot of people.
Yeah, no, I've never played there.
Yeah,
So
you'll get a
I don't know
chance,
yet.
right? I think
New
we're-
Philly's pretty hot too.
New Philly's
That
cool.
place
It's kind
is
of
cool.
old school.
It's like Hoosiers.
Yeah, it's old school. Yeah, you'll like that place as well.
Second team OCC member Gabe Baith. Come on right back. Tyler Sauter is going to join us right after this.
To sponsor Arrows Athletics, the most trusted and efficient construction company in the region. With a long history of doing things the right way from concept to completion, Simonson Construction solves all your construction needs for commercial and public projects. A truly local company providing award-winning comprehensive design-build services since 1974. For more information, scan the QR code or go to simonsonconstruction.com. Come visit the South Street Grill in downtown Ashland, the official watch location every Friday night during the Arrows football season. You can catch all the action in the bar area on the big screens. Elevated casual dining in downtown Ashland, steaks, seafood, hand-patted burgers, vegetarian options, salads, and a huge kids menu. Something for everyone in a completely renovated, historic building. South Street Grill, your home for Arrows football. Simonson Construction is proud to sponsor Arrows Athletics, the most trusted and efficient
OCC Defensive Player of the Year, Northwest District Defensive Player of the Year. That's Tyler Sauter, senior on the, I got to say it now, basketball squad, joins us on the Simonson Preview Show. Thanks for coming on, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Hell of a football season you had and a heck of a career, man. It was really fun watching you play.
Yeah, thanks. Appreciate that.
So you look back on the fall, you look back on this football season and career you had. What's the instant takeaway that you have that you think, man, I'm going to remember that for the next decades?
I mean, especially this year, it was a great season, great way to go out, win the conference, undefeated regular season. Our final meeting, actually, V wrote down all of the goals that we put down before the season as a meeting as the seniors, and the only one we didn't accomplish was win the state championship. So that was pretty great to see that we accomplished pretty much everything we set out to do.
We're in our mid-40s. We've been around sports a long time, and it is a very rare feat when that happens, and you can be honest and put those things up there and check them off. That's pretty amazing. So congratulations to you. You were a big leader in that squad. Not only this year, last year, throughout your whole season, you've been, as you told us in the past, you've been around the program since you were probably 4 years old, right? I mean, you've been around for a long, long time.
What's the transition been like going from, such a long football season into basketball right away? How has that been as far as conditioning and just sort of shifting gears mentally?
I mean, we kind of flipped the page right away. Hess gave us a day off, and then we were back in.
One day?
Yeah.
Wow,
Well,
that was nice.
I tried to go in Saturday morning after he didn't let me, so. But, I mean, honestly, I've surprised myself conditioning. I'm not nearly as tired as I thought I would be, so I can still make all the touches. But other than that, yeah, it's just kind of getting back into the ball handling and getting used to shooting again in the feel of the game.
I think, your role on this team the last few years and this year obviously is as that energy guy, the guy who's going to play defense, you're going to rebound, you're going to do all the tough stuff, but you can also score as well. What is it about that role, though, that you take to heart?
I mean, just effort. That's the one thing I can control out there. I can't control how many shots I make or what happens, what the other team does, but I can control my effort, so that's just the main thing for me.
What's going to make the Arrows successful this year on the hardwood?
We got to be able to get rebounds and win in the paint. I know we're undersized and we're a shorter team, so we've got to be able to come up with rebounds and to score in the paint.
How do we do that?
Well, for starters, we got to box out. Once shot goes up and get all 5 guys in the glass, and getting the ball in the net helps a lot. Trying to draw double teams and then kick it out to open shooters too.
Yeah, that rebounding part, Chris and I talk about a lot, and I'm always on both teams about how much that is. That comes from right here, right? That rebounding comes from inside because you don't have to be the biggest guy, you don't have to be the strongest guy, right? But you need to be the toughest and to have the most heart. You're right. I love that answer.
Whole lot of want to, right?
Whole lot of want to. What's your favorite thing about playing at Arrow Arena?
I'd say the student section of the jazz band. I mean, we've gone pretty much everywhere else. You don't see anything really like our jazz band, and student section's always great. So yeah.
Team and personal goals this season.
Personal win. I don't know. The only thing I really have is have a positive turnover to assist ratio. And then for the team, obviously win the conference, beat every team in the conference once, and win a couple playoff games.
Sounds good. Let's talk about the OCC race and handicapping that. We asked Gabe that. What do you see as kind of the front runners in the OCC this year?
I mean, obviously you got Lex and Mansfield. They're both going to be really good, but Lex lost their 1-6-8 kid, so that helps us a lot. And I think we're right up there, and we're going to have a chance to go win the whole thing this year.
What's your favorite place to play outside of Arrow Arena?
Honestly, Lex. I really like their courts. Their stuff's new and it's nice, and I play my best games against them so far. So yeah.
Well, you have another good game against them. I'll buy you a snow cone. Are you close to selecting a college?
Getting there. I've gone on a couple visits now. I'm kind of done with my game day stuff, and it's going to be more like official visits. I've got a few of them lined up, but I won't really talking to the D1s, like the MAC levels. Like they can't really tell me anything till after January when the transfer portal stuff ends like that. So I'll be waiting to make a decision.
Speaking of the transfer portal, they just opened that thing up, and we haven't even got to the playoffs yet or the championship games. I don't understand what the NCAA is doing.
You could say that about a lot of things.
I sure could. I think I'll leave it right there. That's Tyler Sauter, senior guard here on the Arrows basketball team. Come on back with Pax Edgar right after this.
Company in the region with a long history of doing things the right way from concept to completion. Simonson Construction solves all your construction needs for commercial and public projects. A truly local company providing award-winning comprehensive design-build services since 1974. For more information, scan the QR code or go to simonsonconstruction.com. Come visit the South Street Grill in downtown Ashland, the official watch location every Friday night during the Arrows football season. You can catch all the action in the bar area on the big screens. Elevated casual dining in downtown Ashland, steaks, seafood, hand-patted burgers, vegetarian options, salads, and a huge kids menu. Something for everyone in a completely renovated, historic building. South Street Grill, your home for Arrows football. Simonson Construction is proud to sponsor Arrows Athletics, the most trusted and official.
We're doing it live, Brandon. We're at the South Street Grill, man. How cool is that? No more editing. I mentioned it earlier, but no more editing for you. It's got to be the happiest day of the year for you.
Man, these preview shows to edit
they go long and long
and
and long.
Look, we're glad to be here with Pax Edgar, junior guard, all OCC first team in District 6 last year, kind of a breakout year. Pax, welcome to the show. Glad you're here, my man.
Thank you.
All right. Look, breakout year last year. What have you done in the offseason to get better this year? What's going to be different about your game?
Getting up shots every day, getting in the gym with some of the guys. Just putting in the work in the off season.
How many shots do you think you took a day? Got a number?
350, around there.
That was
maybe
your goal?
more, maybe less. Yeah.
Does that include foul shots or foul shots separately?
That includes them.
Nice.
Okay. All right.
That's a lot of shots. Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
How's the team chemistry this year?
Good. The ball movement's good. The ball's not sticking. We have a lot of chemistry this year. I feel like Gabe said, on and off the court, that helps definitely for sure. But yeah, we're looking good.
What is it that you think brings you guys together off the court? What are some things that you guys all like to do together?
Just joking around with each other. Watching sports. about it.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. That's a
Yeah.
good answer, my man. Yeah.
What's your thoughts on the OCC? We've got kind of the same repetitive answers here from a couple of players. What are you forecasting and handicapping it as here in 24?
Same as the others. I mean, Lexington, Mansfield, they'll be tough. Every team will be tough this year, so we don't want to overlook any of the teams.
Yeah, Brandon, right? That's really the reality. There's no easy out, right?
No.
You know, the team that may be record-wise last year, this year, next year, towards the bottom, you better bring your A game or, you know, maybe that team slows it down, but you got to play to get a win here in this conference.
Well, and that brings me to my next point. How are you guys looking defensively so far in the preseason?
Good, yeah.
You talked a little bit about the offense, but defensively, what are we doing, and how are guys coming together there?
Good. Just got to communicate, always working on communication, and then just being connected on defense. Yeah, just comes with playing together more.
Yep.
Down by 2. The purple jerseys are on the other end. Ball's in your hand. 2 seconds left. You taking a shot, or are you giving it to somebody else?
I'll take the shot,
Heck
but
yeah, he's going to take the shot because shooters do what?
shoot.
Shooters shoot right there, BW. You know the answer to that.
I
And
do.
Pax Ediger, who puts it in the goal. 13 points a game last year as a sophomore, expecting some more points from him. And, you know, looking forward to seeing you take that next step up in the evolution of your game and help lead your team to hopefully an OCC title this year.
Hopefully, that's the goal.
All right, sounds good. Come on back with Nathan Bernhard right after this.
Company in the region. Simonson Construction is proud to sponsor Arrows Athletics, the most trusted and efficient construction company in the region. With a long history of doing things the right way from concept to completion, Simonson Construction solves all your construction needs for commercial and public projects. A truly local company providing award-winning comprehensive design-build services since 1974. For more information, scan the QR code or go to simonsonconstruction.com. Come visit the South Street Grill in downtown Ashland, the official watch location every Friday night during the Arrows football season. You can catch all the action in the bar area on the big screens. Elevated casual dining in downtown Ashland, steaks, seafood, hand-patted burgers, vegetarian options, salads, and a huge kids menu. Something for everyone in a completely renovated, historic building. South Street Grill, your home for Arrows football.
Welcome back to the Simonson Preview Show, joined by Northwest District Player of the Year and OCC Offensive Player of the Year, Nathan Bernhard. That doesn't sound bad, does it?
Yeah, not too bad. We'll see what happens with All-Ohio and stuff like that, so maybe add a couple more accolades, but, you know, it sounds pretty good so far.
You not only played the whole football season, but it feels like you're like me, man. You got a platinum card with United Airlines, all the travel you got in here in the fall, going to school to check out some Saturday games.
Oh, yeah, I mean, it's been pretty crazy. You know, throughout the process, I've taken a lot of visits. I've gone to a lot of camps. Definitely put a lot of miles, you know, on, and got to see a lot of places.
So you had a wonderful football season. Can you carry that momentum? Do you see that momentum? I mean, look, most of your teammates are football players as well. Can you guys carry that thing into the hardwood?
Oh, man, I hope so.
I think they're teasing you.
We were definitely in football mode for sure. So, you know, get back to basketball practice was a little rough. So we're just getting back in the swing of things. But I think definitely we can carry that momentum because we have the desire to win. It's just like last year with football, we went 5-6 or whatever, and we know we turned around, went 10-0 this year. I think we're kind of done with losing.
I like that phrase. We're kind of done with losing.
Yeah.
How does that football mentality carry over into the basketball arena?
Yeah, I mean, just like I said, this, you know, just tired of being mediocre because that's kind of what we've been. We were 7-7 in the conference last year.
Sure.
That means you're average. You know, we were 10-13. You know, didn't do much, didn't do anything in the tournament.
Yeah.
You know, didn't win any games. So you're average. So we don't want to be average.
So for you personally, we talked about this a little bit. You took a huge step from your sophomore year to your junior year on the gridiron. Do you see yourself being able to take that kind of step from a sophomore now into a junior year on the basketball floor and kind of play with more presence? It just watching you play football, it was completely night and day. Do you see that being able to transition here in the winter sport?
Yeah, I think just being able to transfer some of the confidence that I play with in football. I play with a lot of confidence. I believe in myself. I think carrying that into the basketball season can help me out. You know, playing with more confidence, just playing more freely.
Yeah.
I think that'll help me out.
You talked about the OCC, and that kind of leads us into, you know, what you think about your team goals for in the OCC and who you think are going to be some of the best teams.
Yeah, I mean, goals-wise, if if your goal is not to win the conference and not to make a run in the tournament, then what are you playing for? So frankly, that's our main goals. And then, I mean, conference-wise, obviously you've heard it from all of them. Lexington's really good. They got a lot of talent. Mansfield, they're going to be a little younger. They got one senior who's pretty good coming back. Then they got a freshman. He's probably going to play some. So they're going to be talented. They're always athletic. They're always pretty good.
Put your track shoes on for that game, right?
Yeah, I mean, like the rest of the conference, they're not teams to overlook. Because it's basketball. You could play terrible one night.
That's right.
Nothing's going in, and someone's hitting everything.
But you know what? You know what travels?
What?
Defense travels.
Defense does travel. We got to work on that a little bit. But,
You watched it all fall, man. You know that defense. The most historic defense in the history of Ashland High School football was authored this year. I mean, you know that group travels.
Yeah, I mean, I wish it was that easy to transfer that defense from football into basketball. I think we still got a lot of stuff to fix and to work on.
Well, you got 5 fouls to give in the middle, so don't be afraid to use them all this year.
Hopefully, I'm not using
At least
a
4
ton of them. I'm not trying to use that many in the first half anymore. I'm not trying to foul out too much.
What's your favorite place to play outside of Arrow Arena?
I'd say hands down, Massillon, Washington.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't know, for whatever reason, I've always played pretty well there, and it's just like a historic place. It's just a cool place to go.
I think we're going to see some dunks this year, right?
Yeah, I hope so. I definitely want to dunk a little bit more.
I did hear from
you can't brick a layup if you dunk it instead.
that's what Coach Hess talks about all the time.
I'm trying to do.
And I guess Paramore said that in the board budget there is a little bit of extra money for a new backboard if we do have a requirement. Yeah.
And those things are pretty tough. I don't know if I can break one of
I
ours.
hear if you go down and like pull. Well, I don't know anything about it. I just made that up. Clearly, I never got on the rim.
They tee you up for hanging on the rim a little.
That was
too
your
much,
favorite
but-
memory, is that Arrow basketball
I did
player.
say that. I did say that. Yeah, getting teed
getting
up.
smoked with a tee there,
Yeah,
hanging on the
I
rim
mean-
at Hooster.
Yeah,
That's kind of a cool. That's kind of a cool one, right? By the way, I bricked a layup on senior night, my senior year, right into the bottom of the rim. So it happens to everybody at some point. Don't worry about it. Last question for you, Nate. Are you close to making any decisions on where you're going next year?
Yeah, I think it's kind of similar to Tyler. It's a little different though, but with December signing day started right now. I mean, there's a couple more days I think of signing day. So schools right now are trying to lock in their 2025 class, and then also the transfer portal is going to open up. So I think teams are trying to lock down the roster. It's a different atmosphere.
Yeah.
Not only do you have to recruit your own roster from the transfer portal, but you're also looking at guys are flipping like crazy.
Right.
I mean, there's a lot of money getting thrown around, so that can influence guys late, and they can decommit. So you just got to recruit the guys that you already have committed and the guys that you want to flip yourself. So I think that should all be over by January. So no decisions will be made by until then.
Nice.
So
you got some options.
That would be the earliest, but I'm just gonna see how it goes, and I would say something will probably be made in late winter or spring, but nothing's official until signing day right now.
That's right. Well,
wise answer.
Congratulations on a great football season. Looking forward to basketball season and having you down low and kind of being the guy inside and swinging around on both sides of the floor. So.
Look, I'm ready to holler out some Bernhardt dunks, man. So let's get a few of those inside Arrow Arena. Come on back with Coach Jason Hess right after this.
To sponsor Arrows Athletics, the most trusted and efficient construction company in the region. With a long history of doing things the right way from concept to completion, Simonson Construction solves all your construction needs for commercial and public projects. A truly local company providing award-winning comprehensive design-build services since 1974. For more information, scan the QR code or go to simonsonconstruction.com. Come visit the South Street Grill in downtown Ashland, the official watch location every Friday night during the Arrows football season. You can catch all the action in the bar area on the big screens. Elevated casual dining in downtown Ashland, steaks, seafood, hand-patted burgers, vegetarian options, salads, and a huge kids menu. Something for everyone in a completely renovated, historic building. South Street Grill, your home for Arrows football. Simon.
Welcome back to the Simonson Preview Show. Head coach Jason Hess of the Ashland Arrows boys basketball squad joins us. Joining your 10th season, man. That is, time flies, doesn't it?
Time definitely flies. Yeah, we've had a hard time trying to wrap our heads around 10 years in this position. It was 10 years as an assistant and JV coach prior to that. So we're creeping in here on year 20 on the sidelines of Arrow basketball.
So after you gave up the JV role and went to the varsity, was that the entrance of Vip Drip? Is that when he became the JV coach?
No, Vip didn't start JV until my first year, so that'd been 10 years ago. He was working with the freshmen when Coach Freilick was here when I was the varsity assistant. We had a few other JV coaches kind of bounce in and out, but Vip is one loyal son of a gun. So he's
a legend.
He's been here.
It's a local legend.
And stuck it out. Yep.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about your staff this year?
So we mentioned Vip, Coach Keith Vipperman, who's been here, ever since Coach Freilick was here. He was a carryover from that staff. Scott Sauter is helping us. He's going in on year 4 with us. We robbed the football staff for Coach Sauter there a few years ago. In addition to that, we've also picked up Styles O'Brien and Owen Reef, who are coming in to help with our freshmen this year.
Fantastic. Glad to hear that. Football had an extended year, obviously, with going into the playoffs and making a deep run. How has that impacted your preseason and early on here in the regular season as we're about to get going?
Well, it shortens things down a little bit. Some good comes out of that. We had a chance with a few guys. We had smaller numbers. Obviously, while football was still playing, we were able to actually spend some more time with our freshman guys than we normally do because we had most of the freshman team in practice. So we were practicing with the freshmen, sophomores, juniors, and seniors. Everybody was together. That allowed us to kind of get a little bit more relationship with those freshman guys that some years we don't, because they kind of kick off on their own and do their own thing.
You see them for a week, and then all of a sudden they're in their own world.
And then you see them on game night, and it's like so that was nice to kind of get some familiarity with those guys, and for them to get familiar with us. And then now that when the football guys came back, and I give these guys a lot of credit because they had a long football season and they had a lot of success, but they all came to me the day after they got beat by Big Wana, and we met with them, and I said, hey, what's your guys' expectations? Where do you guys feel you are with wanting to start basketball? Because there is a little bit of a time crunch here, but we'll work with you. And a bunch of them wanted to start on Monday, and I said, no, guys, you're taking at least one day off. So I did give them one day off, but they wanted to start right away. And when they came in on Tuesday, they brought an energy and a positive attitude, and they were ready to go to work. So for me, that was really impressive to see that group of guys and the character that they have, that they could go through that long football season and still be excited to come to basketball 3 days later. Right.
Last year we talked about the youth of the team, and we didn't know what we didn't know because they were sophomores, right? I'm talking about that specific class. But the old adage goes, the kids have grown up, and now they're upperclassmen. How do you see that benefiting and translating here in the winter?
Well, I think it kind of piggybacks off the football run because now they come into the winter with a lot more confidence.
Yeah.
They're bigger, stronger kids. You look at them, I think they're going to look the part a little more in the uniform. They're filled out a little bit. It's not just sticks and bones sticking out underneath the jerseys. So, that helps. And also, they've got that experience. And there is no substitution for game experience. And, you talked about the football run shortens the preseason. Well, we didn't get a lot of scrimmages this year. We had one. So, it could be a little bit rough Friday night come around because it's really going to be the first time we've really thrown the ball out there much with officials and these guys coming out of football, seeing how things are going to get called this year. But, that game experience, I think they're going to be able to make the adjustments. They've got some chemistry together because, we're returning 4 guys that started a year ago, and just having that time on the court together, it comes back to them quickly. And I've seen that in bits and pieces this year in practices and in the scrimmage.
What have you guys targeted as a staff with this group that you said, we watched all the film from last year, we saw these things, these are some good things and some bad things. What have you targeted on improving from last year to this year?
Well, the big thing is defensively. We've got to find a way to defend the paint better than we did a year ago. Last year, we really struggled against teams that were bigger and more physical than us, and we've got to find a way to guard that paint area. We're fortunate to have Nathan and the size that he brings, but he can't do it himself, and we've got to have other guys that step up and can guard inside. And then offensively, just to be more efficient so that we finish better in the paint. We also handle the ball better against athletes, the guys that pressured us. We had some games last year where teams just crawled in our shorts, and we weren't ready to handle that type of pressure and play that pace of play. So we're trying to get back to playing a little faster like we did a few years ago, really pushing the ball up the floor, playing with more up-tempo. to allow our guys to play in space offensively, and also to help create some easy baskets now and then to make us more efficient.
Talk a little bit about the squad's depth. I know, you kind of identified who the starters are going to be on Friday night, but you got some guys on the bench. Garrett Davis comes to mind. We watched him a lot last year in the JV squad, and he can really fill it up. Talk a little bit about the depth.
Yeah, Garrett, you mentioned him coming off the bench. He's going to give us good quality minutes. Extremely athletic kid that can shoot it and can just flat out play a little bit and make plays. Grayson Bath is just one hard-nosed kid that, there's no backing down from anybody.
We watched that all fall. It was
you guys
impressive.
Saw it. So, he's not afraid of anybody or to compete against anyone. He's going to bring us a little bit of grit and physical toughness that we need. Carson O'Brien and Jackson Aber are going to give us a little more size than we had as reserves a year ago, which I think will be nice to kind of give Nathan a few minutes here and there to keep him fresh for late in the games.
Leaders, captains, who do you see as that core group doing that this year?
Well, we had the kids vote on captains. We just did it this week, and the 4 guys that you've talked to are the ones that our guys selected as captains. Gabe and Paxton were voted on as captains by last year's group, and so they're going to return and be captains again. And they've really stepped up in their leadership role, and I think they're more vocal this year. Having that year of experience last year as sophomores and now as juniors, being more vocal and just the overall chemistry and bringing these guys together, and it's been key to have that type of leadership when we have a shorter preseason.
Yeah, absolutely.
That these guys, can help each other and also teach each other things that, it doesn't always fall on the coaching staff.
Team goals for the year.
Well, number one is win the league. That's one of those things. And I think the kids said it. If you're not playing for that, then what are you playing for? And then win a district championship.
Yeah.
We've got a new tournament alignment this year. Being Division III, haven't heard for sure how the districts are going to lay out. I'm assuming it's going to be similar to what volleyball had, which will be more localized, which will be teams that we see on a regular basis, which I think will be good for our kids.
You mean we don't have to drive an hour and a half, 2 hours up to Toledo?
Well, hopefully, at least not for game one.
Right.
Maybe we can get our way to Toledo by the regionals or somewhere down the line. But the goal is not to start in Toledo anyway.
Yeah, I listen. I could talk about that all day long. I think one of the things we always talk about is the development of young men and or boys into men, if you will, and What is your kind of approach to your guys this year about trying to develop them as young men and what they mean, to people off the court as well?
Yeah, well, one of the things that we've got when you walk in the door of our locker room, Coach Sauter brought it in a few years ago, and Steve Paramore blew it up and made a big sign of it. It's called Arrow Image, and it's a saying that basically reminds these guys every time they walk in and out that there are young eyes looking at them, especially on Fridays and Saturday nights, that what they do out there on the floor is very impactful to someone that is an elementary school age, someone like Hudson. So it's, we talk to them about that. The other thing, that's a reminder, and I know you're going to ask about it later, is our sponsor program.
Yeah.
And, this year our speaker at our sponsor banquet was Isaac White. And when Isaac came back here a week ago and talked to our guys and our group of sponsors, we had several of our sponsors that mentioned how impactful Isaac was and the team that Isaac played on because of what their kids saw Isaac White do.
My son is one of them. I mean, he looked up to those kids. It was crazy. Like every game, like Isaac, whoa, and
right.
Now these guys are those guys, Yep.
Yeah, that sponsor program is fantastic. Coach Valentine does that as well, and I think that's not something that everybody does around the country, or around the state or around the OCC. How long has that been going on?
Yeah, my understanding is Coach Peters started that way back in the early 90s when he came here, and it carried on. I know when I was playing, I had a sponsor or multiple sponsors.
Is that Jay Peters or Jody?
Jody.
Oh, okay, because Jody's brother Jay was
right.
the basketball coach at the academy.
Oh, Lord.
That was just for Chris.
Thank
Anyway,
you.
so it's been going on a long time.
Yes, it had. No, but Jay couldn't do a sponsor program. Jody was the only one that could come up with a sponsor program.
Yeah, because he was the one that had the aptitude, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We didn't need it at the academy.
Did you guys even play? Talk about the community support. Like, you look around here, and there's a lot of former Arrow basketball players. Randy Emmons over there, Chad Emmons over there. There's some others out here in the crowd as well. And you're an alumni, and now the head coach. Like, What's that mean to you? How do you instill that, what it means to your kids and your players, whether they're freshmen or seniors? But, just talk a little bit about that.
I don't think you can fully get these kids to understand how special Ashland is. And I know for me, I didn't fully appreciate the great community that we live in until I was away from it for 4 years and then come back to it. It's one of those things when you're going through it, you just assume that every community is like this, but it's not.
I can relate to that because I left here in 14 and was gone for 3 years, and then was like, it felt a little bit like being in a desert and then coming back to an oasis. So I can completely relate to that. Yeah.
But we try to talk to our guys about just how valuable it is on a Friday and Saturday night to get the community support that we get, to get people to show up. And they care about winning and losing, but they really care about if the kids just play hard and play together. And that's kind of one of the things that we like to emphasize with our guys is play hard, play together. The outcomes will take care of themselves, and that's what is nice about our community is they appreciate that good quality basketball if it's done the right way.
What's a successful season look like for you? Final question in 24-25.
It's kind of what you were just talking about a little bit, right?
Exactly. Yeah. If we see improvement throughout the season, and we see our guys grow as young men, and we see our team get tighter, closer knit, and we play hard, and we're playing harder and playing our best basketball when February rolls around, then we did our job.
And I think it's something to say about, the similarities between football and basketball, especially at Ashland. It's like, that next group passes it down. The expectations are passed down. And that's, my friend, when you become a program. And it's not a team.
Yeah.
Everybody can field a team, whether it's at Mapleton or Hillsdale or wherever, but a program is hard to capture.
Yeah.
And,
I think we're there, though.
Yeah, I think we're getting there.
Yeah.
We're there in the fall at Ashland Golf Club. We've been there for 75 years with the boys squad. Football with Coach B has been amazing for 20 years, and you've started building this thing and had some runs, and you got a really good group, not only this year, but next year with some of these guys coming. So, the horizon looks pretty bright for your squad.
Yeah, we're looking forward to this year. You don't count chickens till they hatch, obviously.
Yeah.
But
spoken like a true farmer.
Right.
Well done.
Exactly. The important thing is to realize for these guys how much hard work it takes.
Yeah.
I mean, you want to pass that down and you want the expectations to be raised, but they have to understand just because you expect that doesn't mean you get it.
Right.
You have to work to get it.
You're right.
Head coach Jason Hess of the Ashland Arrows boys basketball squad joins us. Come on back with special guest South Street Grill manager Vanessa Riley going to be here to talk about some food and the new menu items. Come on back right after this.
Proud to sponsor Arrows Athletics, the most trusted and efficient construction company in the region. With a long history of doing things the right way from concept to completion, Simonson Construction solves all your construction needs for commercial and public projects. A truly local company providing award-winning comprehensive design-build services since 1974. For more information, scan the QR code or go to simonsonconstruction.com. Come visit the South Street Grill in downtown Ashland, the official watch location every Friday night during the Arrows football season. You can catch all the action in the bar area on the big screens. Elevated casual dining in downtown Ashland, steaks, seafood, hand-patted burgers, vegetarian options, salads, and a huge kids menu. Something for everyone in a completely renovated, historic building. South Street Grill, your home for Arrows football.
BW's favorite time of the show has arrived, and that's where the food comes in. We're joined by Vanessa Riley, manager here at South Street Grill. Thanks for taking the time, but more importantly, I'll speak for Brandon. Thanks for bringing the food.
Absolutely, our pleasure.
What do you got out there?
Okay, so we've got a couple of our new menu items. They were just released today, actually,
Whoa.
so you're getting kind of a cool preview. I'm going to start here with our Cajun shrimp appetizer. This is 8 grilled shrimp. We lightly dust it with Cajun seasoning and then give it to you for your appetizer. Keep in mind you can add it to any steak, which is an awesome steak topper. And then we also are topping our Caesar salad with it for our Cajun shrimp Caesar salad this
Anybody
season.
who says we don't have a steakhouse in town doesn't know what they're talking about,
They do
by
not.
the way. But this is some amazing food. The Caesar salad's also one of my favorites, so I might have to take a little
Yeah,
bite at this.
that one's pretty fun.
Yeah, we'll see.
All right, what else you got?
All right, so I brought out our burger of the month. This one was just released and available today as well. So this is our 8-ounce patty. Keep in mind we do hand patty all of our burgers here in-house.
Nothing's frozen.
nothing frozen here. We're
It's a big keep,
completely
folks.
fresh kitchen, and so topped with our sweet and spicy glaze, and then our fresh pineapple pico. I brought ours with our classic Brussels sprouts, probably one of our most popular sides.
I haven't met anybody that says Brussels sprouts are the
Bring 'em
most
on.
popular,
Bring 'em
but
on.
I'll
You'll
take
have
your
to
word
try 'em.
for it.
So our Brussels sprouts, we deep fry them. We put an awesome aioli on it. I cannot share that recipe with you, but if you haven't tried them, you absolutely should.
Sean would not be happy, would he?
He would not be
He would not be happy. All right, look at this, folks. This thing looks amazing.
These shrimp are great. They are spicy. There's
Okay.
there's a
Little
kick to
Cajun
these.
on there.
Yeah,
Are those,
I like
are
it.
those triple noise level?
No, they're not quite, but they're double noise.
That's
they are
something that
double
we have.
noise, man.
Okay. All right. Keep going.
Okay, and then lastly, I brought our brand new cheesecake. This is a fan favorite. We bring it back every season for the last 3 seasons. It is our Little Debbie Christmas tree cheesecake.
Wait,
So-
Little Debbie?
So if you can picture that fun family favorite, those Little Debbie Christmas trees, we fold it into our original cheesecake batter, topped with sprinkles and icing. It's hard to beat.
So I'll leave that over by me. Wells can eat those green things. So what's your role here at South Street Grill?
Sure. So I'm a manager here. I've been with the company for a little over 2 years. We're a huge, big family, basically.
Yeah.
So it's been a fun ride, and we're just constantly being creative and finding new avenues to reach our guests. And yeah, bringing in the new items is one of those ways we do that.
So I'm sure that these items aren't just the number of new items. I'm sure there's more, right, on the new menu?
Yes, we have a ton, especially for our winter season. We have a brand new cocktail list. We have multiple new meals coming in and out. New desserts. We're getting ready for our birthday. So December 17th, we turn 4 years old.
Yeah.
We're going to have a ton of new meal specials that day and that day only. Clear your calendars. Come see us. We do some fun giveaways, and it's a really great day for us to celebrate.
And you just got some new flooring done, I hear.
We did. We've got new flooring upstairs, and I don't know if I'm allowed to tell you this, but we're actually working on something else around here too.
Bring it on.
So, just continuing to find innovative ways to
It's like a
speak
balloon,
to
right?
everybody.
It goes higher and
It
higher
just
and
keeps
higher.
going up.
Yeah,
You're right about that, sir.
All right. So South Street Grill's become the go-to restaurant for casual dining, sit-down, environment in Ashland. The bar area is fantastic. That's where we're at. Upstairs is a great classic example of an old building being repurposed. It's got a lot of character. What's led to the success? I'm out. So the success in kind of South Street in a short amount of time becoming Ashland's go-to restaurant.
Yeah, I think that's a great question. I think there's several factors that play a part, but you nailed it with the building itself. We're fortunate enough to offer a really unique dining experience, whether you're celebrating a birthday in the main dining room, enjoying an Arrows game on our bar, or even by the fire pit enjoying live music. So there's really something for everybody, and you can tailor your guest experience to wherever you kind of want. So I think that's a standout. Obviously, our food speaks for itself, from the level of thought and care that goes into the production to us cutting and smoking our all in-house here, to hand rolling every little tater tot that comes out. So we pride ourselves in it, and we hope that the food just kind of speaks for itself, and I think that brings people back.
Well, it does. It got me to stop talking.
It did.
Which is hard to do.
Well, I can talk about the Maori House. We come here quite frequently. We love it here. And I tell my wife all the time, I'm like, there's more than just steak bombs on the menu. And that's the thing Tara gets every time over and over. But, hey, she likes it, and she can't go away from something
That's
that she
my
likes,
go-to,
right?
too, so I'm with her.
Sounds good. This is Vanessa Riley, a manager here at South Street Grill. Come on out and see her and the rest of the staff here
This green stuff's very good. Green
at
stuff's
South
very
Street
good.
Grill.
Try
Come
the
on
Brussels.
back. We'll have Superintendent Steve Paramore right after this.
Simonson Construction is proud to sponsor Arrows Athletics, the most trusted and efficient construction company in the region. With a long history of doing things the right way from concept to completion, Simonson Construction solves all your construction needs for commercial and public projects. A truly local company providing award-winning comprehensive design-build services since 1974. For more information, scan the QR code or go to simonsonconstruction.com. Come visit the South Street Grill in downtown Ashland, the official watch location every Friday night during the Arrows football season. You can catch all the action in the bar area on the big screens. Elevated casual dining in downtown Ashland, steaks, seafood, hand-patted burgers, vegetarian option salads, and a huge kids menu. Something for everyone in a completely renovated, historic building. South Street Grill, your home for Arrows football.
I did try the habanero level shrimp.
It's almost triple noise, man.
And it's
it is
really, really
almost
good. Steve, you remember what triple noise was?
I remember 1500 level.
1500 level triple noise. That's the sauce made by Troy Shade. Woohoo! He can light you up on a hot dog. I'll tell you that. And these things are delicious.
You keep asking questions. I'm going to keep eating.
Yeah, I was going to plan on doing so. And Brandon did get through all the Brussels sprouts for whatever reason. So
all that green's gone.
Your wife said you would not touch those.
The Brussels sprouts?
Too green.
She knows me well.
You don't hit a lot of greens.
I totally hit a lot of greens.
There it is.
You know, if there's blue out there, I'm your man.
There you go.
Steve Paramore joins us as the Simonson Construction guest here at the midway break, halftime show, if you will. Talk a little bit about ACS. I know you've got the Senior Citizens Luncheon coming up on December 6th.
Yeah, it's one of our favorite days of the year. It's something that's been going on for 20 years. We offer up just north of 250 tickets for senior citizens to come in. It's our opportunity to let them know how much we appreciate them. They get to see a wonderful show at Archer Auditorium and great performances by our high school a cappella choir, sing and swing, band and orchestra, jazz band, and then we have them for lunch in the cafeteria. And since we are obviously out of COVID, we're able to get beyond the lobby commons. We're back in the main cafeteria, and so students serve them. We even have board members hauling them back to their vehicles in golf carts. So it's just a great opportunity to see a demographic that is such an important part of our community. They are yes votes down the road, just like you and I are.
Yep.
And we just want them to know if for some reason, their grandkids are not in Ashland City Schools, or they feel like they're not connected to the school district in some shape or form. Many of them are in our backyard with Oak Brook and King Ridge and Avalon. Number one, we want to be good neighbors to them, but also we want them to know that they're always welcome to anything Ashland City Schools related, more than just football games.
And senior citizens get into all athletic contests for free.
We have a senior citizens rate, and a lot of them.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, sorry. I wish it was free.
That was my fault.
Our students get in for
That's
free.
right.
That's right. Yeah.
No, that's all right. He was thinking seniors in high school.
Don't want to, no false advertising.
No, thanks for fixing me there.
Many of them take advantage of our senior citizen gold pass.
Yeah, I know two of them in the ones right over there that takes advantage of that.
You guys are as a district, are helping to ring the bells over at Walmart. As somebody who worked at the Kroc Center in the Salvation Army, understand the mission there to do the most good. They do a fantastic job of helping people in the community. Why that charity? Why help out with that?
Twofold for me. It's personal. I'm a board member at the Kroc Center, so it's something that's asked of a lot of entities in the community. You've got the city of Ashland, so you've got the firefighters. You have the county with the sheriff's department. So each of us have been given a block, an hour, and it is our job to market ourselves to get as many people as we can out there, and they'll take Venmo. They'll take, it's probably a QR code by now, other than just throwing change in the bucket. So I'll be at Walmart from 4 to 5 p.m. I'm going to really sell this to not only Ashland City Schools employees, but the community. Come and support the hour that I'm out there, but obviously any of the hours that our community members are out there helping the Kroc Center. It's a tremendous charity, and the amount of good that it does do for so many, it reaches very far.
Yeah, from the food pantry to housing assistance to lighting. Like if you're, the folks, the Francis family does a great job over there. How about any shout outs that you have? Maybe, I know you wanted to talk maybe a little bit about our SRO.
Yeah, Jeremy Jarvis.
Hillsdale Falcon, by the way.
Absolutely transplanted arrow. I'm just reminded as I was watching a couple Fridays ago the 2020 special on just so many of them. We work with so many different Ashland Police Department officers, Ashland County Sheriff's officers. We are so lucky. We're so blessed to have Jeremy Jarvis as our SRO. Gets out to every one of our buildings multiple times in a day, keeps us safe, keeps us informed. Literally, if I had a hangnail and I needed a squad, he's just tremendous. He's committed to our students. He's committed to our staff. He's a smiling face. He's given knuckles with the incredible Hulk hands in the morning.
Yeah.
Our kids get a kick out of that. So
One of the toughest jobs there is.
No, I mean there's
Right.
nothing tougher. I mean the sacrifices that the men and women in blue make for this community. The least I can do is give him a shout out.
I've known Jeremy for probably 30 years plus. He grew up in Hayesville as well, and he's a heck of a dude. He's a really, really good guy and really a good asset to have on the grounds, every day. Concert season's here. I don't want to leave anybody out.
No.
Obviously, the performances at Archer and at AHS are going to start here, kicking off with December.
Yeah, middle school concerts tonight. Steady diet of holiday concerts from 4th grade up. At Archer Auditorium, we're blessed to have the Taj Mahal of performing arts facilities.
That is for sure.
Most high schools our size don't have 2 auditoriums, and so we're lucky with the gracious donations of so many, with the lead gift being the Archers. But concert season's coming up, and also you'll have the Nutcracker for the Opus Dance Studio that will be in Archer. And 'tis the season.
The symphony orchestra, the symphony uses it, I should say. Weather's changing. I've got a student driver as well, who comes over to Ashland High School every day. What's the message to those young drivers out there?
Just slow down.
I know we sound like old guys, but it's the truth, right?
Yeah. No, obviously I'm not bashful with snow days, and that's usually the first thing people ask. But literally. What I have in the back of my mind is not only staff safety, but you have young drivers, and that first snow or that first batch of ice, they're not ready to ease into a stop sign, and we've got plenty of 4-way stops that make you cringe sometimes.
Right.
We have kids that are really mindful and they're safe, and we've got speed bumps now in the student lot leaving there. I'm sure people are thrilled about that, but it keeps,
I'm thrilled about
it.
I think it's great.
A little bit more under control on the way out, but it's exciting for a kid to get their license, and like Cece, I think she just rocked a new Jeep.
Maserati.
So, want to make sure she's safe and not out in the ice and snow. So just asking them to be careful and slow down, and we're parents as much as school employees.
Two cool additions to Aero Arena. You got the blackout face, the quiver that's painted up there above the student section, and then the video board right off to the left of that.
We're excited about that. Great opportunity for us to showcase a lot of our gracious sponsors, from Janie to Sarver Paving, Donley Ford, MVD Sports. Obviously, we're looking for more people to put things up there. It's not a tough task. For us to take a phone call, and we appreciate all of our local donors and people that support, obviously, the broadcasts and Ashland City Schools. So we can throw that up a JPEG and get it up there. And we did have to turn it off during the Mansfield Senior Ashland volleyball game because it is so bright that it was a little bit distracting. But it's far enough over from the backboard. I'm not
Nice.
too worried. But it's a great opportunity for us to showcase team pictures and players and things like that.
Christmas right around the corner. You excited for that and for winter sports, I guess I should say, too, before that we get to that. But winter sports, what are you looking forward to most?
Just the competition. I look forward to watching kids compete. As a competitor myself, that's what we ask of them. I think that's the way that as we create leaders in this universe, it starts with being competitive with class, and everybody understands that we all go about that in a different way.
Right.
But we throw those 11 core values up there. Maybe the 12th one is be competitive. You have a lot of pride in that jersey that you put on. I'm certainly proud of the staff members that keep them student athletes first. From our preschool teachers, kindergarten teachers, all the way up. It starts there. They see these kids in youth sports. They see them in middle school, right? Because middle school sports is the most important thing ever. That's why parents get kicked out of those games.
Don't get me started.
But I'm telling you, our coaches put the hours in. They're committed. We don't come out on top every time, but the effort that we ask of them and the attitude. That's something we all control as humans, is our effort and our attitude. And I couldn't be more proud of the employees and the coaches and the volunteer assistants. And our success speaks that.
Yeah. Well, effort and attitude is obviously key, and attitude reflects leadership, and I think you sound like the head coach of the district, which is kind of what you are, and we appreciate all that you're doing.
Do you guys do Secret Santas?
Allegedly this year, at least I'm sure it's different in each of our buildings, and we could get down a serious rabbit hole on that, and we won't. Because you want to get the lady.
Yeah, we got to get the ladies out here. I mean, we did the guys basketball team.
Year,
we're waiting for the girls to come
We're doing some sort of white elephant at central office. So somebody's bound to get a hockey stick.
Yankee swap.
And somebody's bound to get maybe like my old punt, pass, and kick trophy.
That's great.
That's a humble brag. That was just a humble brag that he just wanted to throw in there.
Were you
like Andy Reid?
Shout out the field behind the Y.
You weren't like Andy Reid, who was like 5 times the size. Bundaruski.
That's Steve Barrymore. You see him on most broadcasts. Tonight's no different. Come on back. We're going to get into the ladies here right after this with the Lady Arrows basketball squad. Come on back.
Simonson Construction is proud to sponsor Arrows Athletics, the most trusted and efficient construction company in the region. With a long history of doing things the right way from concept to completion, Simonson Construction solves all your construction needs for commercial and public projects. A truly local company providing award-winning comprehensive design-build services since 1974. For more information, scan the QR code or go to simonsonconstruction.com. Come visit the South Street Grill in downtown Ashland, the official watch location every Friday night during the Arrows football season. You can catch all the action in the bar area on the big screens. Elevated casual dining in downtown Ashland, steaks, seafood, hand-patted burgers, vegetarian options, salads, and a huge kids menu. Something for everyone in a completely renovated, historic building. South Street Grill, your home for Arrows football.
We're back at the South Street Grill, flipping the page. Going to welcome in the girls' squad here, starting off with point guard sophomore Cece Sturry. Last year, honorable mention as a starter and freshman, pretty impressive. Averaged a little over 5 points a game, and really excited to see you take that next step. Talk a little bit about your freshman year as we look back. Did it seem like the game was a little faster than you were used to, or quicker and you had to adjust? Talk us through that freshman year.
Yeah, definitely in the beginning, and I just had to get used.
Go ahead, keep going.
I just had to get used to the fast pace of varsity, and it just all clicked towards the end.
As a freshman, you talk about the game slowing down. How about this off season? What did that look like? What did you work on as you're going into your second year?
Our team did a few camps in June, and we did a lot of open gyms and scrimmage against a lot of different teams, and just got to see other styles of playing, and I think we got better from that.
What parts of your game did you identify, that you could improve upon? I'm sure you didn't have to go too far. Dad Rich over there probably has a laundry list of things to focus on. But what have you identified as things and keys that you could look at to, improve your performance and help your team?
There's something in every category. I'd like to focus more on my defense. I think I could pick it up more on that. And we focus a lot of that on practice, and majority of our practices are defense.
Okay.
What has practice look like here over the last couple weeks? I know you guys have started your season. You started with a couple of losses here, but the wins and losses early on, I said it earlier, aren't as important, but you want to peak later in the season. What is it that you guys, as you look towards Saturday, towards Mansfield Senior, that you guys are working on specifically this week?
We have Lex Thursday.
Oh, Lex is Thursday. That's right. I'm thinking our broadcast on Saturday. Sorry.
We had Lex Thursday, and then last time we played Wadsworth, and they were a really good team.
Yeah,
but
on the road, that was tough.
Yeah, and we focused this week for Lex. They are fast-paced, and they press. So a lot of our practices are correlating about beating a press and making better passes because they'll jump the passing lanes, and they're tough, and we try our best, and we just try to grow every day.
Yep.
I'm curious about practice. Like, what's a practice for your squad look like? Is it like,
talking about practice?
We throw the ball up and we miss it intentionally, and then it's just two ladies going after the rebound? Or, walk us through what a practice looks like for you guys.
It depends on after a game or getting prepared for a game, but it's really aggressive, obviously. And
any fights yet?
No.
Oh, all right. It's early in the season. Maybe later, right?
Yeah. We focus a lot on defense. That is what we're trying to improve on. And we do a couple of drills that it will get really aggressive, and we have a lot of our players injured right now, so we got to kind of be careful and make sure no one else gets hurt because we're down a lot of people, but they're tough and our coaches push us to our max, and at the end, I mean, we just kind of watch film and just relax, and then the next day, right back at it.
What are your goals for this season for yourself and for the team?
For our team, I would like to win the OCC. That'd be very cool.
It's a great goal. Every team should have that goal every year, right? Yep.
And I want to become more of a leader this year.
Nice. How do you see yourself doing that? What does that look
by
like?
encouraging my teammates and picking them up when they're down, and just having the game be like smooth and just not out of I don't know.
Yeah, no, you're
Just-
right. That
yeah.
encouragement is a big part of being a
Yeah.
leader, right? I think the hardest part is when you feel like you have to challenge people.
Yeah.
Right. That's a lot harder. Whether you're 47 or you're 16,
Yeah.
like that's still hard. But I would encourage you to, when you see those opportunities, that's when you need to step up and do it in a way that's still kind. But you can still challenge people that are older than you, that are in your grade. But it's hard. I got you. Yeah.
What's a successful season look like in your eyes?
A winning season, obviously,
Okay.
but for our teammates to all improve and as a team improve, both JV and varsity. So, yeah,
That's a good answer. Favorite place to play outside of Arrow Arena?
the pool.
The pool?
Yeah,
The swim pool?
yeah,
You mean like basketball in the pool?
yeah,
You play with your family? You guys like
Yeah,
beat
we'll
up on
play.
each other?
yeah.
That's Grayson, Alyssa, and her. I mean, there's a lot of goals going through there. Coach Hess remembers Grayson. He filled it up #2 all-time scorer. So
Yep.
pretty awesome. This is CC Sturry. Come on back with Cameron Cox right after this.
Construction is proud to sponsor Arrows Athletics, the most trusted and efficient construction company in the region. With a long history of doing things the right way from concept to completion, Simonson Construction solves all your construction needs for commercial and public projects. A truly local company providing award-winning comprehensive design-build services since 1974. For more information, scan the QR code or go to simonsonconstruction.com. Come visit the South Street Grill in downtown Ashland, the official watch location every Friday night during the Arrows football season. You can catch all the action in the bar area on the big screens. Elevated casual dining in downtown Ashland, steaks, seafood, hand-patted burgers, vegetarian options, salads, and a huge kids menu. Something for everyone in a completely renovated, historic building. South Street Grill, your home for Arrows football. Simonson Construction.
Welcome back to the South Street Grill, joined by Junior. It's crazy to say Junior, considering you grew up across the street from me. I remember when you were a little grasshopper getting on the bus, but now you're a junior, you're driving, all kinds of things. You're like an elder statesman these days. Cameron Cox joins us. Let me read these stats off. Second team OCCBW, first team District 6, and a third team Northwest District player, averaged 10.5 points and 8 boards a contest. That's stuffing it pretty well. I remember one game, didn't you have like 31 rebounds or 32 points and 25 rebounds, or there's something crazy?
33 and 32, yep.
Yeah, 33 and 32, Brandon. That's about a season for you.
Thanks. I've never. That was one of the most impressive games I've ever seen as either a coach, as a fan, as a broadcaster. So what did you work on off season to try to get yourself better this year? What was it that I know we've already 3 games into the season, but what have you been working on in the off season up to now?
Definitely just like figuring out my dribble drive and working on my shot more to make my game more versatile.
Trying to step out a little bit more?
Yeah.
Okay, how's that going?
It's going good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All
Why
right.
don't you just keep packing it down low and using that spin move and, like Dad taught you, use those elbows and go right to the goal. I think that'd be pretty good for your team, don't you?
Yes.
What's the chemistry like this year so far?
It's good. We like each other, but we go hard.
I saw you had rabbit ears behind you. That was your sister, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it happens. So your game took a huge step forward last season, right?
Mhm.
Are you anticipating the same kind of leap this year as your junior year?
Yeah, I'm hoping to get healthy and just, be in full go and see how it goes.
Any timetable of your return yet? Soon. Good answer. I love it. I love it.
I like it. That sounds like she was told to say.
I love it.
Sometime soon. Yeah,
it's fantastic.
I'm all right with that. You don't want to tell anybody any of that stuff. Last year you guys started slow, then you had a great middle part of the season, and then ended with some tough losses. Had some good, some good games in there, but some very tough teams. This year, what's the OCC look like for you guys?
I think it's in reach. I think we're right there, and we're top of the conference, and we just need to perform under pressure, and we know that we're capable and just have to go out and play the game.
Nice. What are your goals personally and then for your team this season?
I mean, just to get better and continue to try and get some wins and
win the OCC.
Yeah, I mean that's the end goal, but I think day by day, just focusing on getting better every day.
This sounds like a coach answer right there, right? Like one day at a time, one game at a time. That sounds like she's listening to Coach Holt.
Look, here's the deal. She lives with parents are 2 AU athletes, right? And potential Hall of Famers at AU, so it doesn't fall too far from the tree. So she's been told that stuff for a very long time, I can confirm. I know you're looking forward to getting back on the court. I'm looking forward to it. Brandon is too, to see you come back and help this this squad and author a good campaign here in the winter. What's your final thoughts on this season?
I don't know.
She doesn't know.
What
BW.
does success look like for you guys this year?
Yeah, cool.
I mean, you said about a winning season, but like, one day at a time, all the cliches you want to say. But like, if you get to the end of the season and you look back, how is it going to be successful?
I think everybody just like being healthy and enjoying it. I mean, at the end of the day, everybody wants to win, but it just matters how you try to do it.
And it should be fun, right?
Yeah.
It's sports. It should be fun. We're not curing cancer. We're not. We're here doing sports, and it should be fun at all times, regardless of how hard it is and how much work it is. It should definitely always be fun still.
Yes.
Yeah.
Junior post player, all-district performer, Cameron Cox. Come on back with Madison Hoffman right after this.
Arrows Athletics, the most trusted and efficient construction company in the region. With a long history of doing things the right way from concept to completion, Simonson Construction solves all your construction needs for commercial and public projects. A truly local company providing award-winning comprehensive design-build services since 1974. For more information, scan the QR code or go to simonsonconstruction.com. Come visit the South Street Grill in downtown Ashland, the official watch location every Friday night during the Arrows football season. You can catch all the action in the bar area on the big screens. Elevated casual dining in downtown Ashland, steaks, seafood, hand-patted burgers, vegetarian options, salads, and a huge kids menu. Something for everyone in a completely renovated, historic building. South Street Grill, your home for Arrows football.
Welcome back to the Simonson Preview Show. Madison Hoffman Jr. joins us here. OCC, all Northwest District, averaged 9 points a game last season, and welcome.
Thank you.
You excited?
Yeah.
Are you nervous?
No, I'm alright.
Yeah, come on. You got a little bit. Your brother had to give you a little bit of knowledge of what to do. Like, I talked to him, like, it seemed like every football game after the games. And won every game, and he had a heck of a season.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, it was really good. Were you up there hooping and holler in the student section too?
Yeah.
All right, sounds good.
You got 4 out of 5 starters back. You guys are off to an 0-3 start, but we talked about that already. Like, you've played some really tough teams. How excited are you for the upcoming year, and what have you guys worked on in the offseason to get your team, more, I guess, just further down the road?
Yeah, it's very exciting to have, 4 of our starters back, and I think that it gives us, advantage of, our chemistry as a whole.
Yeah.
But honestly, we just worked really hard in the off season. We were in the gym. We were all together. I felt like everyone was motivated and wanted to be there. And that was the biggest thing that we had to struggle with last year. It was kind of like, does everyone really want to be here? But I think this year I really see it in everyone that everyone wants to be here. Everyone wants to win.
That's awesome.
What parts of your game did you, I believe wholeheartedly, self-identifying areas of weakness that you can improve on or things you do really well that you can even do better? What parts of your game have you identified to say, I need to focus there to get better, to make myself even that much better of a player?
Yeah, I felt like defense I struggled with a little bit last year, and something I really wanted to work on in the off season. But I felt like my offense was well, and I was like, well, what is there? I mean, there's obviously something I can always get better at.
Sure.
And I just looked at it, and I was like, you know what, defense, that's my biggest thing. And I think I really dialed down on it this year, and I think I'm off to a great start with defense.
Okay.
That's awesome. Listen, I love defense. Whether you're shooting the basketball well or not, whether you're playing well on the offensive side, defense is something that you can always control, right?
Yeah.
You got a little dinged up during softball last year. How are you feeling now? How's everything going?
Yeah, I'm doing much better. I'm not 100% healed yet, but I'm 8 months post-op, so definitely getting better. I'm just glad I'm out there on the court playing again. It feels really nice.
Yeah.
So.
Talk about the team chemistry. It seems like, we did a couple of these games last year, and it just seemed like it was a really close-knit group. Talk about the chemistry and how that, group is kind of molded over the years.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, we just love each other and we play for each other. And I don't know. There's nothing really much to say about it.
No, it's great.
Yeah, I mean, I think that we really enjoy playing with each other. And
it translates on the court, right?
Oh,
when you care about the people on your team. And you said it, like, everybody wants to be here. And this summer it was clear, that was the challenge. What's practice been like so far in the first few games? What do you guys need to work on here getting towards Lexington this week and Mansfield Senior?
Yeah, it's I don't know really.
It's all right. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it's you're into the season, and you guys have had a tough schedule.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the OCC as you
I'm really
approach OCC
excited.
play?
I think we have a big chance of winning the OCC this year. I
Okay.
really do.
Yeah.
What are your goals, personally and for the team?
Well, to get back on the court. Maybe.
Yeah, that's a good one to start with.
Yeah, but no, I just keeping my defense up and scoring on offense, driving to the basket, just being a good teammate on and off the court.
Yeah, those are good goals. What does a successful season look like for Madison Hoffman at the end of the year, looking back?
I would say as a team whole, OCC for sure. For me personally, just keep playing hard. And just
having fun.
Yeah, it's
absolutely.
right.
That's number one.
Yeah.
I love it.
No matter what it is.
Yes.
Good.
Thanks for joining us.
Yes, thank you.
Come on back. The Blonde Mamba's next.
Construction is proud to sponsor Arrows Athletics, the most trusted and efficient construction company in the region. With a long history of doing things the right way from concept to completion, Simonson Construction solves all your construction needs for commercial and public projects. A truly local company providing award-winning comprehensive design-build services since 1974. For more information, scan the QR code or go to simonsonconstruction.com. Come visit the South Street Grill in downtown Ashland, the official watch location every Friday night during the Arrows football season. You can catch all the action in the bar area on the big screens. Elevated casual dining in downtown Ashland, steaks, seafood, hand-patted burgers, vegetarian options, salads, and a huge kids menu. Something for everyone in a completely renovated, historic building. South Street Grill, your home for Arrows football.
We're live from the South Street Grill. That's Brandon Wells. I'm Chris Mowry. That's the Blonde Mamba. You got somebody to say hi to.
Oh my gosh. Hi, Aunt Katie.
Absolutely. OCC first
never
team.
gets old.
No,
Never
it
gets
doesn't.
old. Yep.
District 6 first team. Northwest District third team. Averaged over 15 and a half and over 7 boards a game as a freshman.
Yeah.
One of the best, I would say probably one of the best freshman campaigns authored by a girls basketball player in the history of the high school. What did you identify in your game to say, I can get better here, I can get better there, and I'm going to focus here, here, and here? What was the offseason like for you?
I definitely did work every single day on almost every single thing. Definitely shooting more, getting to the rim even more than I was. Working on everything really was very important to me the entire offseason, yeah.
You guys are off to a tough start win-loss wise, but we talked about that with everybody saying like you've had some tough opponents, but you're heading into OCC play. What's that look like? What do you guys have to get better at as you enter OCC play?
I think just coming together as a team is the most important thing. Building chemistry as a team as a whole is going to be really important for us. I think we've been getting better at that almost every single day, every practice, pushing each other. But yeah, just as a team.
Defensively, or I should say offensively, you guys haven't put up a ton of points yet, but it's there somehow. What do we need to do on the offensive side to score a few more points?
Push the ball up the court, offensive rebounds and stuff like that. Just working on that is, very important.
It's rare to find a freshman be the leader of any team. I don't care if that's the bowling squad or the track team, or it doesn't matter. In my opinion, that's what you were last year. Setting up in that perch and watching your squad play, it looked like all of your teammates looked to you.
Oh, yeah.
And you're 14 years old. Like,
Yeah,
this is the first time I'm doing it, guys. I don't know what the heck's going on, So it kind of looked like you accepted that role midway through the season towards the end of it, and you're like, okay, it's me, I got to do it. What was that transformation like? How did you kind of take that burden on? I don't think it's a burden, wrong word. I think it's really an honor to be chosen to be in a leadership position. How's that kind of looked for you, and how have you kind of embraced that and moved forward?
I feel like I did have a lot of pressure on me in the beginning, but I think I learned to
calm down almost and just like focus on the game and stuff like that. And yeah, just take it like step by step, play by play is really what slowed the game down for me. And then yeah, push my teammates and everything like that. So.
Yeah, I always encourage folks to even use visualization, right,
Yeah.
as a way to sort of get through some of that as well. Personal team goals this year?
I think, like how everyone else said, the OCC up for grabs. I think we have definitely got that in reach for us. So yeah, and then just honestly, just building as a team as a whole, super important, like I said. But OCC is what I think is the #1 goal for all of us.
What's the competition look like in the Lacey house with that one over there with the brother that isn't going to let you go to the goal and you're not going to let him go to the goal? Talk seriously. What's the competition like?
I want to know who is a better open field tackler. That's what
I don't think she would back down from him.
No.
I really don't. You'd hip check him, wouldn't you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Since I was little, so.
That's the
no,
beauty
keep going. That wasn't enough, BW. Hang on. Here's hear about the competition. Like, what's it like playing hoops in the in the driveway?
In the summer, we would 1v1 actually, and I beat him, so it was fun.
Yeah, that's what we like to hear.
Yeah.
Own it.
Yeah.
Just own it. That's right.
You
That's
will
right.
find.
I don't think I ever beat my older brother, who's 3 years older than me, and and he still would lord that over me.
You probably undercut him though.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what we had to do with younger ones. What's a successful season look like for you and your squad and you personally this year?
I think winning more games than we did last year, and I would say, like I said the other time, OCC definitely. Building as a team. I think when we really do come together as a team, everything works out so much more smoothly, and everything goes more well when we are as a team. Yeah.
Favorite place to play other than Arrow Arena? It could be the
driveway.
We've been hanging out too much, Chris.
I do like playing on West Homes a lot.
Yeah.
I think the atmosphere there is pretty
It is fun. That's a great place to play. Both the boys and girls games are always packed.
Yeah.
There's nothing else to do in Millersburg, let's be honest, so everybody's there. But, I mean, the truth is everybody comes out, and it's a fun atmosphere.
Yeah.
Do you know they have a pie sale down there?
I know we don't get any calls there.
We don't get any calls inside
Did I
the
say
gym.
that on the air? I'm sorry. I've been here a long time, but it's
oh,
true.
Lord, that has something to do with the internet connection. That is the leader of the Arrows ladies basketball team, Kennedy Lacey. Come on back with Coach Holt right after this.
Is proud to sponsor Arrows Athletics, the most trusted and efficient construction company in the region. With a long history of doing things the right way from concept to completion, Simonson Construction solves all your construction needs for commercial and public projects. A truly local company providing award-winning comprehensive design-build services since 1974. For more information, scan the QR code or go to simonsonconstruction.com. Come visit the South Street Grill in downtown Ashland, the official watch location every Friday night during the Arrows football season. You can catch all the action in the bar area on the big screens. Elevated casual dining in downtown Ashland, steaks, seafood, hand-patted burgers, vegetarian options, salads, and a huge kids menu. Something for everyone in a completely renovated, historic building. South Street Grill, your home for Arrows football.
The negotiation never stops on the Ashland Arrows Broadcast Network, I guess.
Next year, the girls go first is what we decided. We'll just trade them
Girls
off.
always go first.
That's right.
Yep.
That's right.
Yep. Next year, that's how we're doing. I'm Chris Mowry. Brandon Wells, Coach Renee Holt of the Lady Arrows basketball team joins us now. Year number 5 for you. That is wild that you've been doing this 5 years already. It's wild that you've been out of college for 5 years. When you were at AU playing, right, and winning national titles, now you're a coach. Fast forward, you're a mother, you're married. Is coaching what you thought it would be when you said 5 years ago, yeah, I want to coach in high school?
No, not at all.
Okay.
It's a whole new world, and I feel like you don't truly understand that until you're in that role. And coaching high school girls, and I teach 6th graders, that's a whole different world. So juggling just the different emotions, the attitudes, it's fun, it's exciting, but it's a new adventure every day.
You're right. I can relate. At age 23, I was a varsity head coach, and to understand what that was like, I had no idea what I was walking into. And I had 18, 19-year-old kids on my team, and I'm like, I'd still be friends with these guys the first year, right? It is a challenge. Last year, your team was really young, inexperienced at the start of the year, had a tough go, and then had a really great stretch in the middle where we played just some fantastic basketball, and then struggled a little bit down the stretch, whether we got tired or whatever it was. We played some good teams as well. This year, you got 4 out of 5 starters back. tough start with some schedules and some a tough schedule and some injuries as well. But what are you looking forward to most this season?
Yeah, the injuries have been tough. The first 3 games, tough schedule, but I think that prepares us for this OCC run. Would you ask the exciting things this season?
I mean, what are you looking forward to the most? And
I'm excited to grow with this group. Another year, having those starters back and building on the foundation that was laid these past couple years.
Yeah, that's I think that's a great answer. I mean, you got a young group, but the injuries, it's something you can't control those things, right? And the schedule, I said it earlier, I think when you set up a schedule like you guys have with a tough non-conference early schedule, you don't worry as much about those wins and losses, but it does prepare you for your conference play.
Yeah, and I've seen the growth, just within the first 3 games, so I'm excited to open up OCC play this Thursday.
Nice.
Anytime a first-year head coach or first-time head coach, whether it's basketball or baseball, whatever, if you could hit rewind and go back and talk to yourself in year 1, year 2, year 3, this was really silly. That was really good. You should have done this. Have you kind of said that to yourself and realized that when you self-evaluate and say, that really worked and kind of grown in the role?
Yeah, for sure. Coming out of college, I came from a really strong program, and I think I came in really strong where, I had these high expectations that these college coaches expected me to perform this way, do this way. And I had to kind of take a step back and realize these are high school girls.
Yeah.
They're dealing with a lot more than what they are on the basketball court. So taking that step back and just, my eyes have been opened and just realizing it's more than just a game. And, trying to make that connection with these high school girls.
Who's going to be on your staff this year?
My brother, Jake Stimpert, and Joe Gray is back as my JV coach, and we welcomed Kelsey Wright. So from Northwestern, she is my JV assistant. So she actually was on board at the Ashland University women's team, went through some injuries, was our manager there, but I got her to help us out this year.
How do you try to split up responsibilities? Every head coach has sort of a different approach to, hey, I want you to handle subs, or I want you to handle the defense, or I want you, do you have a certain strategy or philosophy with your staff?
We just bounce ideas off each other. Some practices Jake takes control, some practices Kelsey jumps in there. So I think when building a staff, you kind of realize, the strengths and the weaknesses and, working together. And I think we all have come together really well and have, worked with these girls good this year.
Yeah, you spend a lot of time together. I get it.
Yeah.
You better
Those
get
bus
along.
trips.
Right, yeah, exactly. Yep.
What's the depth of the squad look like this year? You're starting 4 out of the 5, the same from last year. Lauren Green steps into that starting role. She played a lot of minutes last year. What's, player 6, 7, 8, et cetera, look like?
Well, that injury bug
Yeah.
kind of set us back. We had really high hopes here at the beginning, but, we took a step back and kind of had to make some adjustments, especially in our defense, kind of pull the pressure back a little bit, kind of sit in a zone here and there, get some legs under us. So we made some adjustments, and we're going to do what we can with the legs that we have.
I like it. She doesn't want to give away too much for people out there watching. That's
right.
wise. That's pretty smart. Thoughts on the OCC this year? All of your girls have said it's going to be tough, but we think we can win the OCC or we can compete in every game. What are your thoughts on the league?
Yeah, of course. That's been our goal since the end of last season, is that OCC. But a big thing is just taking one game at a time.
Yep.
I think every night it's going to be competitive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's fair, right? It might sound like coach speak, but you got Lexington this week and Mansfield Senior. What's that look like?
Lexington's Lexington.
Yeah.
You don't really want to talk good things about them, but I've
She's
learned
learning.
that.
She's
I've learned that
learning.
really quick. But they're a tough team. They got us both times last year, and they were close games.
Yeah.
So just coming in with our head on straight and doing what we can to get that win. Mansfield Senior is just a varsity game only.
Yeah.
So they're kind of
numbers are way down.
numbers are low, and
Yeah.
it's crazy to see that with them winning the OCC 2 years ago.
Yep.
So again, one game at a time. So we're gonna focus on Lex.
That Lex game last year we called, man, that was like back and forth, nip and tuck, and you thought you didn't know who was going to win, even with 30 seconds on the clock to go, and
I'm disappointed.
a couple late fouls.
I won't be able to go to the away game this week. We have the United Way Holiday Happenings Thursday, so I'll be keeping track and seeing how it goes. But yeah, we're looking forward to broadcasting on Saturday as well.
What's a success? Last question. What's a successful season look like to you this winter?
I think coming together as a team, building off what we did last year, and I think we're still going to continue to talk about it, is that OCC title. It's been, over 20 years since that happened, and that's been our goal. And back at Ashland, we continue to talk about a national championship, so we're going to continue to talk about an OCC title.
I love it. Yeah.
BW and I will be right back after this short break to put a bow on this one. Little holiday cheer. Come on, right back after this.
Is proud to sponsor Arrows Athletics, the most trusted and efficient construction company in the region. With a long history of doing things the right way from concept to completion, Simonson Construction solves all your construction needs for commercial and public projects. A truly local company providing award-winning comprehensive design-build services since 1974. For more information, scan the QR code or go to simonsonconstruction.com. Come visit the South Street Grill in downtown Ashland, the official watch location every Friday night during the Arrows football season. You can catch all the action in the bar area on the big screens. Elevated casual dining in downtown Ashland, steaks, seafood, hand-patted burgers, vegetarian options, salads, and a huge kids menu. Something for everyone in a completely renovated, historic building. South Street Grill, your home for Arrows football.
Welcome back to the South Street Grill. I need a little volume there. There you go. Thanks, buddy. Welcome back to the South Street Grill. Brandon Wells, Chris Mowry. He's got a fork in his hand. Food's still here. Once we wrap up, I'm going to dig into that Little Debbie cheesecake there. Come on out to the South Street Grill and enjoy the new menu. Watch some Arrow Athletics on the screen if you're not able to join us inside Arrow Arena this winter for a girls' game, a boys' game. We learned a lot tonight, BW. We had a lot of guests and several players, both head coaches. Jason Goings was on, Steve Paramore. We learned a lot about these squads, and the thing that's common between both programs is they want to compete for an OCC title.
Yeah, and I think they both have the potential to do it, Chris, right? I mean, every year you start at 0-0 in the conference, and it doesn't really, you build a non-conference schedule to help you get ready for the conference schedule and to help you get ready for the OHSAA playoff tournament, right? I think you heard from Coach Hess, you heard from Coach Holt, and some similar things, right, where they talked a lot about chemistry, they talked a lot about taking care of the basketball and seeing how their team is going to develop and hopefully peaking at the end of the year and not in the middle or not at the beginning.
Expectations, let's go with the guys. What are your thoughts and expectations? I'm going to put you right on the spot, pal. What's your expectations and thoughts here?
With Coach Hess right there.
Yeah, with Coach Hess right there, Chad Emmons right there, me right here, Gunder's right there. I want to hear it.
God is right.
Yes, most importantly.
I mean, my expectations are that we're going to see, a team that's going to work really hard on the guys' side. And I don't think we're going to be the most talented team in the conference, but that doesn't mean we can't win the conference, right? I think that can happen. I think it comes down to ball movement and taking care of the basketball. We talk about turnovers as a coach. Like, absolutely. That's the thing that we talk about all the time is, man, you especially when you're playing with pace, you're going to have some turnovers, right? So you have to find a way to limit the amount of turnovers you have on the guys' side pushing the basketball. And then defensively, I think, for the guys, it's limiting teams to one shot. And I know I sound like a broken record when we talk about that with this with the girls too, right? And on the girls' side, very similarly, man, we have to take better care of the basketball, right? And we have to make sure that we pass up a good shot for a great shot. There's a difference, right? It doesn't mean that I don't want people taking good shots, but if there's a great shot, we need to take the great shot, not the good shot.
The extra pass that some of these college coaches, NBA coaches talk about.
One more. And then for the girls also, obviously, close out and box out. And Coach Holt and I have talked about that a little bit as well. And again, you want to limit teams. It sounds easy for me to sit here and say this, right? Like I'm not the one that's down there facing teams and coaching teams. It's easy for me to say, man, we need to box out more. I know we're working on it, right? It's just sometimes it doesn't always work out. So I think, limiting teams to one shot, limiting turnovers. Obviously both teams have the talent level to compete in every game in the OCC. So you need to be healthy. That's one thing you can't control.
That's
and
right.
The girls have had some bad luck so far, right? And they want to get healthy. They need to get healthy. That's a big thing, right? And on the guys' side, to stay healthy and to be able to jump in as quickly as possible for the guys coming off a football season and have that chemistry develop as quickly as they can.
For me, on the guys, it is carrying that chip on the shoulder that you played with in August all the way through into November, and you saw that team transform, and you're like, we went into overtime at River Valley. I still think that was the biggest game of the season, River Valley coming out of there with a win, and it just propelled.
Yeah.
And Sauter's a player, and Bass a player, Bernie obviously is a player, and some of the other guys, Jackson Aber's going to get minutes, Carson O'Brien's going to get minutes, and those were football players, and they're now going to play basketball. Yeah. Let's hope that chip didn't get knocked off, but it's on both sides now. They want to take that through. And I think if they can do that and take that next step and, show the effort and show the desire, I think we could have a really good squad here in the winter.
Yeah, and you call it a chip. I call it playing, expecting to win. And Nathan Bernhardt said that earlier, right? He said, man, we don't want anything mediocre. And last year we were 7-7 in the conference. And the girls were in a similar boat right in the middle of the OCC. You need to expect to win every game, and when you don't win, you need to be upset that you lost. Not for super long, but man, you need to hate losing almost as much as you love winning in order to be a great program and a great basketball team.
On the girls side, for me, it's I think I'm going to echo what you said. It's taking care of the ball.
Always against the pressure, right?
Yeah.
It's so often in the girls' side you get a lot of pressure, and teams will play a lot of press, and so as a coach, I dealt with that too. We struggled with it, and it's always a struggle. Whether you're playing, in practice 6-on-5, 7-on-5, whatever it is, and you get some of your older kids to come back and play against the younger girls so that they understand. Man, now I have a better idea, and that's the stuff where when you bring alumni back to play and practice against some of your girls, you bring in some of the adults, the coaches, where you're working hard and you're forcing them to see the court a little bit differently. You're right, Chris. I kind of overtook that, what you're talking about, but that pressure, being able to handle pressure for the girls' squad is going to be key for them to have a successful year.
It's don't dribble into a double team. Don't dribble into the corner and you get trapped. Keep your dribble, kick it out, break the press, so on and so forth.
Yeah, and from a coaching standpoint, I always tell people, and I would tell my staff, you have to be careful to avoid saying things like, don't do this. Instead of saying the negative, you always want to focus on what you want them to do instead of what you don't want them to do. Because if you're psychologically telling them what you don't want them to do, guess what? It's exactly what's going to happen. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? It's like saying in baseball, don't drop your hands, right? No, we don't say it that way, right? Keep your hands up. It's the same thing in basketball, right? Hey, make the good pass. Make the good pass. Take your time. Back it off. We don't want to say don't hurry, right? Right? John Wooden always said be quick, but don't hurry. But we're not going to tell them don't hurry. You say be quick. All right.
Chris Mowry says control the glass, and if we control the glass this year with the boys and the girls, we will have success. Limit the turnovers. We'll have success on both sides.
Yep.
I'm excited, man. We did it live. We didn't have any butchers. Brandon Gunder's over there on controls. It's on Ashland City Schools YouTube channel right now on the Ashland Arrows Broadcast Network. I'm Chris Mowry. That's Brandon Wells. Take us home, BW.
God bless, Godspeed, and go Arrows!